everybody.
Good day.
Welcome to the
back.
Barrel Roll post-credit show.
Still, July 15th.
Yes.
Still. Time has not moved for us.
Well, it has
Challenges.
moved, just not another day.
Well, unless you're watching this in the post or watching our shows out of order.
Whoa. You can't do that. That's against the rules.
Says
Yeah.
the playlist.
Either who.
Welcome to the post-credit show. We talk about movies we've played, games we've seen, things we've experienced. Exactly in that order.
Yeah. It's not incorrect.
That's
I
true.
have sat down and watched people play games, and
Oh, sure.
I have to hit play on the movie.
So not wrong.
Yep.
You ever watch? Remember Zoolander?
Yes.
Have any of you guys seen the DVD version of that movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember the stuff that happened at the beginning of the movie before you hit play?
No.
So this is when DVDs were huge, and like they had the menus, this elaborate menu system.
Interactive menu.
Well, yeah, it was a very interactive. It was a very elaborate menu, and so when you put the Zoolander disc in, it actually started with the 4 options: play movie, chapter select, special features, that kind of stuff. And it was Derek Zoolander as Ben Stiller, like playing out all these roles. Like, this is welcome to the wonderful world of DVD. This is the play button. I know what you're thinking. This is not a play. This is a movie. Why not call it movie button? Well, back then, movies were plays.
I remember that.
And it was just literally him explaining each of the
Buttons.
the buttons. It's like, special features. On me, I think it's my eyebrows. And it's just like the dumbest, like, contrived thing. And then you just hit play and watch the movie, and it's an excellent movie. But yeah, like, that was the one thing I remember from
I've
that
still yet to
era.
watch the sequel to that.
You're not missing out.
House of a Thousand Corpses also has a very entertaining menu, to the point where it's better than the movie, because let's be honest,
That
House of
movie
a Thousand
is-
Corpses is not a very good movie.
It's a pretty thin movie.
But that, like, the menu is worth watching. Because it's really just Captain Spaulding talking to the camera and telling terrible jokes.
Excellent.
Either who. I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
Ross.
Chris?
Are you really?
No.
Really?
A figment of your imagination. Not that yet.
Not that. We're outside today, in case you
Yes.
didn't notice.
Post
Always
outdoor
a really
crest.
good green screen.
The greenest of screens.
Yeah, you know, this is a funny thing. Part of one of the Humble Bundles I bought came with 3 months of XSplit, which is a
Oh.
streaming
Yes.
thing, like our
It's
open broadcast
it's like
software.
OBS.
Okay.
But it's more people use XSplit.
We don't know why.
I honestly don't know why. So I got 3 months free. So
Did
I
you try
downloaded
it?
it. I signed it up. They can't make the green screen work that OBS can make work. So I know, like, our green screen is still, like, a little iffy downstairs because it's not professional, or lighting's not, like, you know...
There's not the brightest light on it.
Well, it's not,
and it's
like...
not straight
It's
either,
not
I think.
even.
direct, yeah. I get that. But we can still pull off a fairly good green screen downstairs.
So XSplit doesn't do that?
XSplit does, but their options for green screen are essentially like green screen, and if your green screen's not set up properly, it pretty much goes like F you.
So you can't like color code.
You can adjust, and I can color drop, like I can do the eyedropper thing to select the green. So I got it mostly to the same green, but there's not enough options on there for me to get all the green washed out without like me disappearing. And last I checked, I did not paint myself green.
I don't think so.
And again, OBS, I can wiggle all the numbers just enough where we're still all visible.
it's
and-
got options. It's
And
got,
the wall disappears behind us and turns into something new.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, people pay for this? OBS is free.
OBS and OBS Studio is very, very free.
So like I'm just sitting there going, the free program does it better.
Yeah, and I've been hearing more and more people switch to OBS.
It's amazing. I'd pay, like, honestly, OBS, I would pay for you.
There's a donation button.
Maybe there is a donate button.
If there is, honestly. If this channel made money, I would
You've
share
saved-
it with you.
You have saved us several times over. I think we exclusively use OBS from the beginning.
Yeah, because it was free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good reason.
It was a good reason. It was free at the time.
Still free at the time.
Well,
Still
okay.
free.
And let's be fair, we didn't always stream.
Fair enough.
We started in a day and age before
Streaming is a thing.
streaming us was, a
Video
thing.
camera.
We had a video camera
Classic.
that we uploaded videos straight to YouTube.
Retro.
Yep.
That's so retro.
Good times.
This does have.
And we had to split the videos into 15-minute segments. And I didn't
We
actually,
talk a lot.
I didn't actually break them in any specific order. It just hit
No.
15 minutes, and I bright.
Yep. Thankfully,
Right mid-word.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed that. Watch the next video in
it's
the
a
playlist.
it's like a post-credit sequence.
Yeah. Either who.
Yes.
Oh,
Who done
What?
stuff.
I watched Fast and Furious 8.
I also watched Fast and the Furious 8.
That was your
I'm trying to think of things that I've been.
happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the copy that I found was Fast and the Furious 8, but it's called Fate,
Fate
of the Furious.
Furious.
So I was thoroughly confused when the title screen popped up. But
Fate of the Furious.
I think it depends on which region you watched it in.
I got mine on the Google Play Store.
I found mine.
Didn't some of the posters used to have it as like F and then
Eight.
the number 8,
Yeah.
and now they just spell out
Fate. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I liked the F and then the 8 better.
Me too.
Me too.
Because that goes along with most of the
Yeah.
movies where they snuck the letter or the number in somewhere. I think after Fan 4 Stick happened, a lot of them have been like,
Stop him.
which doesn't make sense because Fate of the 8 actually works.
Yeah.
Fate.
Like
eight.
that's
Eight.
Is there 8?
Yes, this
Yeah,
is the eighth
that's the
one.
eighth
The eighth
one.
movie.
This is the eighth one.
So it was
No, not
F8.
8 movies, there are 8 people.
no.
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 But
No,
that's
it's
it's
Fate,
never.
it's the 8th movie, so it's F8 because the other ones broke down to
Seven.
F and F or F2 F2.
Yeah, they
fast,
snuck the 7.
2F,
They snuck the 7 in
Too
like
Fast, Too
that.
Furious.
So 2F 2F, like they all broke down into
Yeah.
like
They had a number in there somewhere.
yeah,
And Fate kind of was
except
there.
4.
Fast and the Furious 4. They just put Fast
No,
and
they
the
put
Furious.
Fast.
Oh, the Fast and the
They put
Furious.
the in front of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's funny when you get the movies on Google Play, they have this border around them with the number in the bottom corner.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get confused because not all of them are actually numbered because you get
Okay.
the Fast and the Furious. So it just has a border around it with a 4 in the bottom
That's
corner.
funny.
That
Just so
works.
you know.
So
I
it's
like
like, okay, my only problem with it is Google Play organizes by alphabetical order.
Oh, so it organizes it.
So they're
out of order.
everywhere.
Oh.
And you have
I'm
to
like-
be like,
You can't organize
which
it
one
by
did I
release
just
date.
watch?
Because I bought the collection, so I go on there to turn on Fate of the Furious, and I'm like, all right, like, let's get to F, but it's the Fate of the Furious.
Ugh.
So I
And
go
they
all
don't-
the way down to T.
And they don't. Yeah, because normally if they do alphabetizing, they don't include words like or the.
Yeah.
Google
That's,
does.
That's weird.
Some do, some don't.
I'm
'Cause
surprised
it's
you can't
not-
sort it by release date, because that would fix all the problems.
Except there's a bunch of movies that would come in between all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh,
on
I
my
mean,
Google
like,
Play.
specifically for the Fast and...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's... Eventually.
I could have just looked up Fate of the Furious and hit the button, but then I would have had to type. But this way, I just looked for 5 minutes. Mostly because I'm like, did I get all 8 movies? Because they're not together, so I'm like, 1, 2, like, you know, or 4.
write
5,
write
1.
them all the numbers down and just cross them off
Off as
as
you
you
go.
get through them in the list.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's number 4. We got that one.
I think so. I think that's 4. It's got a 4 on the bottom corner.
Can't wait to watch some little Bow Wow and Tokyo Drift.
So good. All of that movie.
Which,
still...
and the guy from that movie is actually on NCIS New Orleans. Like, he's a main cast member, the main racer guy in that film. And I'm like, oh, damn. And apparently he's coming back for Fast 9.
Oh, boy. More.
Don't care.
There's
Keep
been
making
up to
them.
10.
I know.
So
They're going
Fate,
up to 10.
so Fate
so
of the Furious, I
We
thought
both...
was
I thought
pretty
it was excellent.
Yep.
So good.
Vin Diesel's
The best.
an
His Moana...
antagonist in this one again. Due to certain reasons, he is working against the team.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
There's reasons for...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
his-
trying to think of.
Have you seen?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
He
It doesn't.
He
They
said-
don't show
he
it in
said
the trailer.
antagonist again. Which I guess the first one.
The first one, he was
technically
the
the
antagonist.
Yes.
Again, he's never really like it's not like he's the villain.
They
Like,
give him a
he's
reason.
Every movie seems to be getting away from the villain. It's just
No, in this
you
one
know,
there's
the
a clear.
antagonist. So I've heard. I haven't seen it yet, but War of the Planet of the Apes is not. Woody Harrelson's character is not a villain. He's just the antagonist.
Yep.
This is his way of doing things, and it just happens to be going against.
Oh, and this
Caesar.
in Fate of the Furious, there's
definitely
a
a bad
clear
guy.
there's a
Yeah.
clear bad guy.
But
Who in the if you've seen the trailers,
She's
Charlize
in-
Theron.
yeah.
Yes, clearly the
But and this movie does give Vin Diesel a reason to be who he is.
yeah.
I mean, it's not a great reason, but
They worked out the one line in there that was kind of good because obviously when Vin Diesel switches sides, his team's like, "What the hell do we do?" And one of them's like, "Why don't we just get Brian?"
ha.
And who's obviously Paul
Yeah.
Walker's character from the films, and Paul Walker's now they had
They-
that
they-
lovely send off in Fast 7.
yeah,
They
So when Michelle Rodriguez is like, we can't bring him back into this,
yeah.
and you're just like,
I don't want to bring him or his sister into this or
yeah,
whatever.
and you're just like, they're still mentioning him. It's nice, but they've
And they've-
gotten to this point where it's like he's out,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Yeah, I think that's
Good job.
They're a
I
family
think
now. They
I
don't
think that
know.
quashes the rumor because some of the big things that they're talking about in Fast 9 was that they wanted to bring that character back, and I think that would have been a
To
bad
have his
move.
brother as a step.
That would have been a bad move.
no,
And
it
the
worked perfectly
yes.
in
Yeah.
the 7th one. Just they
And then there,
had that song played,
Yeah.
and I
We
can't
all
believe
tired?
I like actually teared up in a Fast and the Furious movie. But they killed it because I mean, honestly, the fact that Vin
Debatably-
Diesel was like they were actually pals, and you can see it in Vin Diesel's face. Like this is his goodbye scene essentially, and it's just like holy shit! Like sad Vin Diesel makes me sad.
I still
And then the
Fast,
song plays over top of it, and it's like stupid movie story how to play with my.
Fast 7 was
emotions.
much better than still Fast 8 though. I think Fast 7.
But again, it's hard to top Fast
7.
7
Because of
of
that.
Paul Walker.
Yes, and
You
it is
can't
what it
keep
is.
having actors die.
Yeah, this one had a submarine in it though. I can't wait till they race a spaceship.
I want them to race Cheetah.
They would win. And the
Pack of
opening
cheetahs.
sequence was really
Well,
nice because
ride cheetahs.
Yes.
yes.
Horses.
Fast
Animals.
and the Furious 9. Welcome to the jungle.
Oh God, Vin Diesel's still in it. Not Vin.
The Rock.
Rock is still in it. Though Dwayne Johnson's still in the movie.
I like Dwayne Johnson in this one.
Yeah.
He's still good.
I like the Maui scene, the Maui / not Moana scene.
Well, again, like I've said to my wife, I'm like, clearly he wants to fit in like Hawaiian themes into like all of his. I think that's part of his contract now. It's like I have to do something that is like part of Hawaiian culture in every one of my movies now.
So I don't care
Because
if you
he
guys.
does a little.
I don't care if you guys
Okay.
spoil this or not. Do you guys care?
For
Fast 8.
yes,
Yeah, I figured they would. That's
Okay.
why.
I
So,
do.
All right. That's
Either way,
then
like,
you'll
yeah,
watch
he-
it.
he
yeah.
gets a little thing
There's
in
a
there,
bit in
so-
there that's pretty evident.
Does he sin?
No. Thank God.
No. Hey. I think you're the only one that doesn't want.
I don't know.
Sing.
I listened to that song.
It's so good.
It's a good.
catchy.
It's a catchy tune. He cannot sing, so it
think
worked
so.
for that film, and I will admit that. I do not want him singing anymore. Dwayne Johnson should not sing.
But yeah, I liked
Fast 8, yep.
Fast 8. The action sequences were really cool. Everything you see in the trailer except more, basically.
Yep.
As a trailer,
Right.
typical movie would
Right. But they don't give away a lot of what happens in those
move
action
their
sequences.
plot points.
And I do love how everybody's becoming slowly more like super powered in these films. Like in Fast, well, okay, so in 7, like buildings are crashing on top of people and they're surviving essentially. Like the stuff they pull off a human being would not be able to survive.
Well, you go back to,
Specifically,
what, 6?
Dwayne Johnson's character.
Well, even Vin Diesel's character has like
You
a
go back
building
to
pretty
6
much
though,
crushed.
even with the runway.
Yes,
That's
but that's what I mean. Like they've been slowly getting more and more like
They should just turn into a
Ridiculous.
superhero movie.
yes, which again I don't care
it's an action movie.
because I go into this like I do the Expendables. I'm going in for a good old fashioned
Like there's
stuff's gonna
a
blow
sequence
up.
with
Right.
Dwayne Johnson's character where he's just punching his anger out on a cement wall. And he's just like "Brrr!" like full on into the cement wall, and we're just like I'm watching like why is that not breaking? No, his arm. Why is his arm not breaking?
Why is his knuckles not?
But he's just going.
as to why the wall's not breaking.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. When you
One
see
of
him in
these
this
things is
movie.
gonna
Dwayne
break.
Johnson, I think it's gonna be the wall that breaks first.
Yeah, especially in this film, the stuff he pulls off, you're just like,
Why? They're
where
shooting.
were you
It's
in the,
the
last
reason why
movie?
he's the best
I know.
at what he does.
He is so good.
And honestly, I still love Dwayne Johnson because he just has fun in every movie he. That's why
Yes.
the Jumanji movie is like actually that much more appealing.
Yeah, if you took him out of the cast, I probably would not care about
No.
that movie at all. But because he's in it, I'm like, I might have to see this movie now.
And in a comedy role, like where he sits there like poking at his own biceps,
Yeah.
just like.
He's like, I've got no hair. I am the man.
And again, I still love the fact where he's like doing the people's eyebrow still after.
Oh yeah.
He
what?
still he doesn't.
I didn't even like. I never watched WWF/E.
Yeah.
Like
He doesn't.
I played the video games
Yeah.
back on the N64 and the PlayStation 2. But that was as much as I ever got. But the fact that he's still doing that eyebrow after all those years as a pretty much a
Still
joke
is
at
there.
this
I think it's a
point,
muscle reflex for him at this point.
it's just like I love you, Dwayne. Like
Don't change.
you clearly just have way too much fun doing what you do.
Well, that's why he's
Here's-
gonna run for president.
I was just gonna say that's gonna be
I
a
would
weird.
vote for him, and I can't even vote.
That's gonna be a weird
Need
year.
American citizenship just to vote for him.
Find a way.
That's gonna be a weird election year.
Yep. Trump versus Dwayne Johnson.
I don't know what to feel.
versus Kanye West.
Please, yes.
Yep.
Well, you know what? While we're at it, just keep going. Who else? Who else should run for president?
Yes.
I don't know.
Vin Diesel.
Is that the only movie you've watched?
Yep, I started rewatching Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah. The beginning is still, I love the first few seasons of that show.
First 5
I
seasons.
couldn't get into it myself.
Just the...
I kind of just go really slow with it.
Yeah,
Other shows distract me.
some of the story
Yes.
bits are really slow in the show.
Well, like I watched the first few episodes and I was just like,
The first
I
few,
don't care.
you kind of have to get past the first season though, like because the first season is really rough to watch. The second, third season is
See,
where
I
they
like
start.
the first season. It catches its way. Yeah, you need to kind of get
But
into
that's
a
every
groove of
show.
it.
You gotta get.
Yeah, and this is when they didn't really have especially season 1 where they didn't really have much of a budget.
Yeah.
Now they start getting actual monsters, demons.
Monster of the week.
I love how they did the Wendigo in season 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Because it
I know,
was,
I got to that episode and I'm like, Wendigo!
it was so accurate to how it's described in the old Algonquin myths as far as physically looking, you know, like you get Wendigos in fantasy.
There's a Lion
and
King trailer.
Quite often, there's a white stag head involved. That's pretty frequent. Also, some kind of Sasquatch Yeti-ish looking.
I was gonna
thing,
say, usually the Yeti
like
is
in
my-
Marvel.
Yep.
That's common as well.
They've cast Aladdin, finally.
Ooh,
More on that later.
Yeah. I
but
don't know his name.
like is with the like really gaunt kind of like ashen sort of bluish skin. It was so accurate to the Algonquin myth that like before they even played the title sequence, I was watching it for the first time. That appeared on screen, and I was like, Wendigo. And the people who I was watching it with were like, "How did you catch that so?"
The Wendigo.
If you know what it's supposed to look like, that's clearly the Wendigo.
And honestly, the
I
people on that show do
guess.
really good research on a lot of it. Because even like, because angels come into play later on, and the language that they use is legitimately like.
Well,
I
even-
looked that stuff up ages ago, and that's it's
Well, not
legit.
even just the language, but like just the symbols and.
But that's what I mean,
oh,
like the
exactly,
Enochian
yeah,
language.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like that's a.
Very, it feels
thing.
authentic.
It is. Like if you go online, that stuff's been around for a good 10 years.
I'm surprised they.
I used to write stories with that crap in it. So that's why when they used it on the show, and I'm like, wait, what? Because it's the same thing. You're like, I know that from things I've done. Holy cow! Someone's actually caring. Which yeah.
It's nice to see that.
And the later they get into the shows, and even the vampires they bring in are completely different than, like they obviously didn't want to do traditional vampire stuff. So these ones can only die by beheading. And they have like a whole new set of teeth, so it's not just like the fangs, but they get a whole like
A separate
jaw.
row, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's a separate row of teeth that come down.
Okay.
So they've got their own thing, and then all like dead man's blood slows the vampires down. Like there's the mythology that they create in that show that they also draw from actual stories and this and that is
Yeah.
really cool. But yeah, the first season,
It's slower.
halfway through, things kind of pick up because they meet up with their dad again, and that's
Spoiler.
kind of the big piece. Season 1 of a 12-year-old show.
13, 14.
Oh,
I like at this point though, I can't even start getting into it.
it's tough
Yeah.
with that many
There's
seasons.
so many seasons.
Well,
like,
even just
I
this overarching story, they got so convoluted and so bloated with the angel stuff. Like it's
Well, that's the point. The point they're at now is like they got into angels,
well, no, I think they're
and then they
past
got
angels.
in. Well, but so they got
Yeah.
to angels, and then because at one point Lucifer was involved.
He's still kind of involved.
Yeah, and then they got angels involved, and then gods involved, and
then they got God.
God involved, and it's like, okay, there's only so high you can climb the ladder before you run out of rungs. Like,
It's no more mythical beasts.
and then finally when you're just like, they're gonna do a Scooby-Doo episode next year.
Literally, we'll be watching
It's gonna
only
be
that.
like a Cartoon Network Scooby-Doo episode with Sam and Dean.
What?
They get transported into.
They're
a
drawn
cartoon.
like they're
Exactly.
drawn like Scooby Doo.
Oh, trust me, they've done this crap before.
Yes, they're gonna write a story in where they get transported to like a TV dimension, and it just happens to be the Scooby Doo world.
They've been transported to two
I
TV dimensions.
hate gimmick episodes so much of everything.
They've already been transported.
Trust me, I'm only going to be watching that one episode of that entire season. So
It's the gimmick episode that brings Tony back in.
Yeah.
and then back out after I'm done watching.
One
it.
episode they jumped through a portal that actually they turned into Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles
Like the real world.
in Vancouver.
And so, even so to the point where Misha Collins, the guy who plays Castiel, ended up tweeting like, Jensen and Jared are acting super weird right now. Lols. And you actually follow
In
him
the
on the
show,
Twitter in real life. He actually tweeted that in real life. It got really, really meta.
The best is because they film in Vancouver on that one episode. They're paying a guy off for like giving them information, and so they pull out their wallets and they have Canadian money. And they're like, "What is this crap?"
Yeah, it was super excellent.
It's like, why am I playing with Monopoly money? And Jared Padalecki actually married one of the actresses who played one of the like
Big
evil
bad.
people.
Okay.
So they've worked that into the show where all of a sudden she comes home and it's like,
Oh, hi, sweetie. He's like, how was
holy
work?
crap, it's Ruby! Like, quick! Like they're looking for weapons,
Oh,
and
that's
she's just the actress that played like the.
yeah.
I might actually have to look up that episode. That
It's actually pretty-
That
it's a
sounds
good-
kind of fun.
But that's what I mean. Like,
That's a good
they
standalone
it's
episode,
not like
too.
they have not done the into TV realm stuff before, because Loki is one of the characters that has been on the show. So as a trickster god, he's
Yeah.
trapped them in these dimensions. So,
Just 'cause-
well, because Loki likes to
I know.
dick with people, so it's right up the alley of like me. So that's where I feel Supernatural can get away with the gimmicky type stuff.
And you know what? They've got
because
such a
it's just like it's Loki.
and they have such a strong fan base now that they can do almost anything too, and just kind of get away with it. Like they know the fans are going to be there.
Yeah. Well, and later on
For
in
the
the
thick and
series
thin.
too, there's an
Oh,
author who writes there's this line of books called Supernatural, and it's
In
about
the-
Sam and Dean.
In the Supernatural show,
Yeah.
like literally in that universe.
Okay.
And the story is
And then there's actually like supernatural conventions inside the actual universe. So in one episode, they end up at a supernatural convention, sort of by accident, and everybody's like, "I'm Sam and Dean." It's like, "No, I'm Sam and Dean."
And then
"No,
when they-
I'm Sam and Dean, and they're like, "No, we're actually Sam and Dean."
Yeah, it's like the fans will walk up like, great costume, guys. It's like that's actually them.
and they have the Impala, and like it's like, "Wow, you guys really get into this," and it's like,
What are you talking
"What
about?
is going on?"
What is my life now?
Either way, Supernatural,
Yeah.
Fast 8.
Yep. We played a little Forest. Oh wait, you were talking about movies right now, right?
No, I'm out of TV and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we played some Forest. There's a new update. So Tony built a zip line.
Yep.
Oh, you're actually playing now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a little bit. I'll have to retry again.
Yeah, you were a little off that night,
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe it was something I ate or something. Cause
or the motion or something.
yeah, the
fucked you
motion
up.
in that game got real janky and real fast for my brain to try and keep up, and I got real lightheaded and passed out, basically, like shortly after we left.
So either way,
I'll
you
try
built a
it.
zip line.
Well, yes, ziplined successfully. We need to find a way to get that zipline back upwards. So,
Yeah, they don't go up.
well, for now,
Zip lines only go down.
well, motorized zipline.
Did you climb a ladder to get to the zip line?
Well, then the monsters climb the ladders.
You're
the
not
monsters-
doing
Yeah,
the
they're
steps.
The monsters destroy things now. We
Yeah.
figured this out.
We need to build spikes on
Yeah.
around things. Or
But either way, Brian and I are like working on the main part of our base because the forest. You were here when I talked about the
Yeah.
forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, like you're building our base, and we finally learned that you can build the small cabin on like stilts.
Okay.
So we've built that, and now we've actually found out the last time Brian and I played, you can build your own custom foundation.
Yeah.
So we've built our own custom foundation off the cabin. So we're actually going to have like a little porch area off of our elevated cabin. But to get to the elevated cabin, we had to build an elevator essentially to get the logs up to build the damn thing.
Okay.
So we finally got that working, and some cannibals or mutants showed up and destroyed our elevator with like 30 some pieces of lumber on it.
It actually takes a long time to
And we're just like,
build up lumber.
what did they do? So we had to rebuild the entire like elevator, which is 37 lumber. Then we had to get back to building the cabin, which in total was 133 pieces of lumber.
And there's still pieces that are still not finished either.
The cabin
Yeah.
is done.
Oh no, there's other pieces too, like
Oh, we still have platforms that we're not
yeah.
done. But now that the cabin's done, we're gonna probably build the walls to try and stop them from destroying our crap. But it was just hilarious because Brian and I are like, okay, get logs to the cabin and to this, and Tony like climbed down a hill and is like down here. He's like, if I cut this tree down, and he just cuts a tree down. We're like, okay, gotta get the logs up here now. Oh.
Well, I ended up just jumping up the rocks.
You just, he's jumping up rocks holding logs.
Just like real life.
He's like,
As one does.
Yeah.
Just like real life.
Now I need rope. Okay.
Zip
So yeah, we
line.
got your zip line built.
Zip line.
We have another zip line built too
Multiple zip lines.
for a quick escape to the one. So Brian pretty much attached your zip line to one that goes from the exit to our cabin.
Neat.
So we can go from the cabin down to your zip line, from your zip line down to the thing. But yes, we do need to find a way back up.
I'll figure it out.
Multiple elevators. There's no ladders, it's ropes.
You could build stairs, but
Stairs.
But the zombies can climb stairs.
Then you knock out the stairs.
you need to play
Zombie
with us.
survival guide.
Just
You need
play.
to- you need
Just
to
play
play
with
with
us,
Have
and
a knock
we'll.
out
Those,
stairs.
Either way, yes.
So can you build a giant tower from the base of your bottom zip line with an elevator that goes to the top of this giant tower, but your tower is actually at a higher elevation than your cabin, and then zip line back to your cabin?
Okay, here's the problem though. The elevators, once they go up, don't come back down on their own.
yeah, you got to go from.
You
the
have
top.
to go from the top and bring them all
It's
back
very
down.
It's very counterintuitive.
They're more of a pulley system, so like
Oh, yes.
you
Yeah, it's
Can't
not
have-
like
you
a.
can't have someone on the ground.
no.
If there's,
Brian and I
I'm
found
trying.
out.
I'm trying to think. There might be if we could make some sort of release system that we can just.
There
hit.
is no release system yet. There might be because the elevators are brand new. They were in the last patch. So hopefully they add something where like after 10 minutes they'll just like lower themselves due to gravity.
Yeah.
Either way, Brian and I built the one. And we built it in such a way where we couldn't actually get off of it. So we had to destroy that. Oh no, we didn't destroy that one. We built ourselves a weird platform to like try and get us to the next place. We're like, okay, this will work. And then Brian took the elevator all the way to the top. And then both of us jumped off not thinking. So we actually had to build another like set of stairs and a platform to get all the way to the top of the damn thing. And then they destroyed it, so we had to rebuild it. Like we're just like stupid elevator. So, but now that the base is like we have a primary house built,
There's a game in here somewhere, and I
it's
think
called
that
building.
I think it's just building.
Well, and
Go
the best
save
part,
your son.
Timmy.
to hell with Timmy. The best part, the best part of the game is the longer you play, like the more days you survive, the more aggressive the cannibals and the mutants get.
So you have to keep up, basically. in
So like
building.
Brian and I have been in there for 15 days or 16 days in the game. So when Tony jumps in and all he has is like a hand axe,
Yep.
and the zombies appear, when we got attacked, there were like quite a few of them.
Yeah, I was up on top of the elevator and I watched them wreck it.
Yeah. Well, and after you left, Ryan and I wanted to finish the cabin, so we finished the cabin. But at the same time, we got attacked by like 6 cannibals, and it's just like, oh my god, they're every. And we have katanas. We have to get you a katana.
We'll figure that out.
But like, we got attacked by 6 of them, and you're just like, oh my god, they're everywhere, and they can climb trees now.
That's terrifying.
So one of them I saw has this weird backpack with a skull, and it's put a flashlight in one of the eye sockets. So you can see like a flashlight running through the woods. And I'm like, the hell was that? Because it kind of, you just see it and then it's gone. And then all of a sudden I see it and it looks like a searchlight on the ground. And I'm like, Brian? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I think they're in the trees. And he's like, no. Comes and stands next to me and he's like, oh god, they're in the trees. They can climb the trees. And it's like, so our tree house is essentially useless.
You need to build higher.
Well, except to get higher, you need to build a treehouse to get higher. Essentially, the only thing we can do now is destroy the bridge. We should keep some logs in our cabin so we can rebuild the bridge.
Last minute bridging.
We'll have to get out again once the.
We can
Cannibals are
technically
gone.
just jump into the pond underneath us.
You have bow and arrows.
No, because to build to build arrows, you need like 5 feathers, and feathers are a pain.
Can they climb walls?
We haven't figured that one out yet.
I don't think
You
we
just need to.
I don't think we've built
build
walls
a
yet in there. have
palisade
you?
wall
And that's what
around
we're
the
gonna-
entire camp.
I think that's
So,
what next time I
One of
play.
the defenses is you can build a wall,
Yeah.
and then you can actually attach spikes to the wall, so when they run at the wall, they just impale themselves.
Oh, there you
Because
go.
they're
think
not
that's-
that bright,
I think
they
that's
just-
the way to go.
Yeah.
And then your tree will be safe.
And that's essentially, we wanted to build the fort first, and we thought we could build it. Well, our first fort was essentially just a bunch of tree houses connected to each other. And then we found out that we could put the actual cabin on a platform and put it up. So we're like, plan changed. And instead of just restarting the game, we're just like, oh, we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And we'll build the walls after we're done the cabin. But the cabin has taken a sufficient amount of time to where we're like, we're getting attacked nightly now by these stupid things. And it's just like, hey. So, next step is walls. So, other than that, just some stuff on my Switch, like just little tidbits here and there of stuff.
Splatoon's out next week.
Splatoon,
Splatoon.
the test fiery
Okay.
thing is out today.
But
Yes.
the actual game's out on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Nintendo games, heard back from the whole pricing thing with Nintendo Switch stuff. Yeah, those are all just placeholder pricing. Super Mario Odyssey dropped back down to the regular
Yeah, I
80.
saw that.
So they even have it on Best Buy saying that it's like, this is just a temporary placeholder pricing.
Yep.
So Pokken Tournament is still not $100, but Odyssey dropped back down to the $80 that it should be at. So,
And I do have a game coming. It's gonna be super exciting to play for like one go around, but I got it cheap, so 1-2 Switch is on its way.
Sweet.
I don't know what that is.
It's a party
Party
game.
It's a party game for the Switch
It's
where
a
you don't
bundle.
actually use the screen. So one of the games on it, for instance, is you unlock the Joy-Cons, like the
Yeah,
controllers,
yeah.
and it's quick draw.
Yeah.
So on the screen is like Wild West people,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear a sound, and both of you have to like come up and pull the trigger.
Okay.
So, in essence, it's actually kind of a cool game because it shows off a lot of the stuff that the Switch can do. But unfortunately, it's always priced at like $64 for 17 little mini games.
I thought it was more than 17.
Huh?
I thought it was more than 17.
No, I think it's 17 games.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. Like, there's not that many games within the game to
Unfor-
justify a full price purchase.
And unfortunately, it's one of the best games to show off the,
Switch,
HD
Well,
Rumble.
the HD Rumble.
Because each of the controllers has a custom. I don't even know how they call it. It's like HD.
Just a Rumble pack.
It's,
Yeah,
it's a special Rumble pack, so
Like, you can tell when there's different devices inside of like a marble box. You can tell how full a cup of water is. That kind of stuff by just
So
the
one
vibrations.
of the games in 1-2 Switch is like how many marbles. So you sit there and it's on the screen. There's a box,
Yeah.
and as you move it, you can actually feel like marbles moving inside of your controller.
Huh.
One of
That's
the other-
kinda cool.
So that's the thing. Like HD Rumble hasn't actually been shown off very well in any other game yet.
Yeah.
Mario Kart got close.
Mario Kart was okay, but it's
Yeah.
still you're in a car. It's going to vibrate.
Yeah.
But like this game, like if I can actually like I want to see, can I feel?
I've actually played it. You actually can.
That's
kinda
what I
feel
mean.
it.
Like in my brain, I'm like, whoa! Actually being able to like
One of the-
feel marbles go.
One of the mini games in 1-2 Switch is a sort of a locksmithing game.
Yeah.
Where you actually have to turn the combination to find where
and
to
you
stop
feel
it, and you can actually feel it. And then when you hit the right spot, it actually clicks a little bit harder than the other clicks. So you actually have to sort of move the controller.
listen to it.
Not even just listen to, just feel the the vibrations and when the the locking mechanism connects.
So either way, I found it
It's
cheap,
actually
so
super
it's
cool.
coming.
Cool.
Other than that, I have been. You can't. Oh, you might be able to see it right over Ross's there. That's what I've been doing.
Rock
is
walls.
building that wall. of
Rock
rocks.
walls.
You don't even have to move. You were
Rock,
in,
rock.
yeah, right there. I built that. Yeah. It'll probably fall over soon, but I built it.
Yeah, it looks alright.
It looks sturdy.
There's rebar in there.
Inside the rocks.
Yeah, I can show you after. There's giant holes in the top.
It's pretty neat.
It's actually pretty idiot-proof.
I see them.
Some
You see the rebar?
I see the holes on the top.
Oh, I was gonna go. You should be able to see the rebar. I pounded that stuff down good.
I can see it. Also, I know what I'm looking for, but I can see it.
Blue stuff?
No. Well,
No,
maybe.
The
Maybe.
rebar's green, teal.
Whatever,
Either way,
I see a bluish color.
Lion King casting stuff dropped. They cast Aladdin, they cast Jasmine, and they cast the genie.
who's the
they already-
genie?
Will Smith.
Ugh.
Jasmine, they already kind of had planned. They had to wait
Yes.
for Aladdin, though.
Yeah.
That's because everybody they offered the role to said no.
Apparently, they had a hard time finding East Indian guys that could sing and dance and act.
Wow.
If only there was a
Ser-
whole studio based around that.
There's a whole
somewhere,
culture based off of that.
That's what they said.
I know. I read that one too, and I'm like, but Bollywood's a thing.
It's a whole culture now.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the name. You showed
No.
me.
I'd say his name again, but I'd just be,
Butchering it.
yeah.
And you know what? That's okay.
Will
Who's
Smith.
Jasmine?
Naomi Scott.
I don't know.
Pink Ranger?
You think so? I think that's her, isn't it?
They were,
Because I know
talking,
that
they were talking her. She was in the run-in for Jasmine.
Mena Masood is Aladdin.
Yes.
No idea.
No, I saw his IMDb. He's in 17 movies, not including this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, Pink Ranger.
Pink Ranger is Jasmine.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Okay.
Will Smith is the genie.
Boo.
I'm okay with that.
Whatever.
He'll do with that role fine.
Boo.
Honestly, like for me, I don't care who plays Genie as much as I care how they portray Genie. I really, really don't want them to just try to recreate
I agree.
the Robin Williams
No.
Genie.
I agree. You
I
can't.
I hope that they go with a completely different personality direction for this Genie.
I agree. I completely agree because that's no pun intended, but that's magic in a bottle. You can't just do that again.
Unless they have all of his like voice lines that they didn't use from the original, and they just throw them in.
Well, not only that, but like
99%
it
of it
almost
is
seems
improv.
to be like it would be kind of inconsiderate to just recreate
Oh, absolutely.
Robin Williams' Genie with a different actor.
Then you can't. Like,
I
it's-
totally agree, and I think Will Smith will know that. I think he respects.
You hope he would.
He'll
Okay,
respect.
he
That-
can't,
that's
he
not
can't
his-
do. Yeah, he can't do voices. He can't do. I'm not worried about him trying to copy
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
It's the writers.
Yeah.
I'm worried about how the writers and the director decide
Well, it's
to
Guy Ritchie.
portray the Genie. Well,
I can't see Guy Ritchie going Robin Williams Genie.
yeah,
Tim
that seems
Burton's-
unlikely.
Tim Burton's Dumbo's going forward. They have a
Oh,
sort of a
God.
Tim
trailer.
Burton's Dumbo?
Yeah,
Yup.
everybody's hoping Danny DeVito's the circus leader.
They haven't talked. I can't find anything about that. They have
What?
a
Tim Burton is doing live action Dumbo.
It's gonna be terrifying.
they have
Yep.
a trailer for.
In all
So
honesty,
Johnny Depp and
so I'm not like
Helena
I don't watch
Bonham Carter
Dumbo.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dumbo person.
It's a creepy movie.
Well, and it upsets me greatly. Like again, there's that whole like I know they're animated animals, but still animals in movies getting like the shit kicked out of them. It's like, you know what? No. Like Homeward Bound still gets me, and that's been around for 25 years of my life.
Yeah.
Like my kids wanted to watch it in my class one day because it's on Netflix. They're like, "Oh, Homeward Bound, what's that one?" And I'm like, "Mr. C has to leave." The end of the movie's coming up, and I'm like, "I have to step out for a moment, guys."
So Lion King basically looks like Jungle Book,
That's not
from
surprising.
what people are saying.
That would
in terms
sound
of-
about right.
in
But yeah,
terms of
Dumbo's
visual.
one of those ones that I've just never watched because I don't find it that entertaining. But
No.
honestly, Tim Burton doing it, as long as he doesn't go stupid with the CGI. Like Alice in Wonderland bugged me because the CGI was so bad.
And overused.
I'm
way
surprised they're
overused.
giving him another.
It's Tim Burton. People still go see his films.
He's
Yeah,
a,
but I'm
he's a
surprised-
household
I'm
name at
surprised
this point.
Disney is giving him another one after Alice in Wonderland.
They give him tons of stuff.
No, they gave him Through the Looking Glass even through after Alice in Wonderland.
He has a
But
reputation with him
comparatively,
too,
I
though.
like
So
the first Alice in Wonderland compared to Through the
I still haven't seen Through the Looking Glass because I didn't really like Alice in Wonderland. Nature.
neat.
It's attacking.
No one suspects the butterflies.
I just find Tim Burton's almost become a parody of
He
himself. at
has.
this
It's
point.
the unfortunate part because like you watch the first Batman movies.
Well, those ones and Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Well, even Nightmare Before Christmas
That wasn't
too.
him.
That wasn't him.
Nope.
I thought that was.
He produced it.
Oh,
He actually had nothing to do with that film.
really?
Yep.
That's too good.
It gets credited to him so,
So
much,
much.
though.
I know.
Yes.
Like
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know that. I didn't
Um,
know he only produced it.
Oh,
But Sleepy Hollow as well. That was
Yeah,
Killer
that
movie.
was
I like
that was
Sleepy
still
Hollow. Yep.
within
Yep.
his good phase.
Beetlejuice.
did he do Sweeney Todd? No.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so. I think
Because
he
look
did.
who's the lead actors in
Well,
that. Of course he
I'm not
did it.
thinking about that. I'm just thinking about the visual style of that movie. Like that's a Tim Burton take
But-
on that.
But that was based on a Sondheim musical, so he
Yes.
didn't actually change that one that much.
okay.
Once you get to, what was it, Dark, where Johnny Depp was the vampire.
Oh, Dark Watcher,
Oh,
Dark Tower,
Dark
or
Shadow.
Dark.
Dark Shadow.
Yeah, that was a weird movie.
That one was.
That was a really weird movie.
But not Tim Burton fun weird. Like,
No, it's really
Beetlejuice
weird.
is a weird movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Beetlejuice is an amazing film.
Oh,
Edward
you said it
Scissorhands
3
is a
times, we're getting more
weird
Beetlejuice.
movie.
but it's
But
so
it's an
good.
amazing film. Whereas, yeah, the more we get of Tim Burton, the crappier it keeps getting. I think after Big Fish, he kind of just.
Well, I know that Willy Wonka was one of those ones that became like the new stereotypical
Yeah.
Tim Burton movie, and
See, and to be fair, he stuck actually close to the Roald Dahl book for that one.
Yeah.
So, to his credit, he actually did a more true version of Willy Wonka than
Apparently the Dumbo is
original one.
apparently his Dumbo is very colorful and faithful to the original so far. They've shown off concept art and
then that's a tragedy. Because Tim Burton with clowns,
Terrifying.
again,
for
I
now.
I had terror dreams of Batman Returns when that movie, like when I first saw it.
For now.
That was a creepy movie when we were kids.
I still,
Yeah.
I remember this vividly. We watched it at someone else's house, and I have no idea who. Like,
Yeah.
friend of my parents went there. They had Batman Returns on downstairs, and I'm like, Batman, because I'd seen the original Batman with the
Yeah.
Joker.
Sure.
My parents let me watch TBS Superstation,
That-
and again, that's where I saw
TBS.
most. But that's where I watched most of those movies. Was so you caught the cleaner version
Yeah.
of most of them, like the.
Yeah.
So these guys had the VHS of Batman Returns. I'm like, yeah.
I watched that movie so many times.
Oh my god! I came home and you know that state where you're not quite asleep, so you still know what's going on around you, but crap starts happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had clowns popping out of like trash cans and crap. As I'm looking out the
Okay.
window of the car on the way home, like there's clowns places, and I'm like, nope. Like that's where I'm pretty sure that like lingering fear of clowns comes from.
Maybe.
Is that as a kid, and it's just like,
You gotta wait till September.
but you give that.
It.
I know, and I want to see it because I know that will actually terrify me,
I
and
think
I'm
that's
excited about that. But yeah, Dumbo with Tim Burton.
colorful.
No, make it dark and honest. Like, go hard with that one.
We'll see what
No,
happens.
they're-
It's in production
they're
in London right
gonna-
now, so
they're gonna Willy Wonka Alice in Wonderland it. It's gonna be the same thing, guaranteed.
All against a green screen with
well, it's being filmed in London, so at the
horrible
point
CGI that they spent no money or time on.
we'll see.
Yes, that. I don't know. There might be
Maybe this is
more
his redemption
actual set
movie.
pieces now.
Hmm.
That'd be good. I'd be all right with that.
Again, you give him a circus. Let Tim
Actual
have some
animals.
fun.
Actual animals.
Well, they'll see. He has to fly.
I'm gonna
Not Dumbo.
They're gonna literally
Still though.
catapult an elephant.
No animals were harmed in the making of this film,
Except
except,
for the
about 12 elephants
Except for these
12
elephants.
baby
to
elephants.
get this shot.
I am going to predict that Johnny Depp plays the ringleader.
I would rather Danny DeVito.
I know, but I'm
I
gonna
know.
predict it's Johnny Depp.
I'll give Johnny Depp Timothy Mouse.
I also don't remember the characters.
I know Timothy Mouse and Dumbo. Oh, there's
Yeah, I
crows. There's really racist crows. I hope they
wonder
end
how
up
they're
in the
gonna-
film.
I wonder how they're gonna tackle that. It's been a long time since I've seen Dumbo.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just know it from the ride at Disney.
I've watched it.
Timothy
I'm
Mouse just
with
yells.
Ross. I watched it once as a kid.
I fell asleep through that.
I've
Never-
watched
never
it
seen-
many times as a kid.
I've only watched
I
it once,
don't
twice.
remember it.
It's on our shelf.
That's mine too. Fell
Oh
asleep.
God, they're relogoing Marvel Studios and putting a 10 in it because it's been 10 years. They're putting a 10 in the middle
Marvel
of this.
10.
That's not
Marvel's.
surprising.
No.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So yeah,
No
cool.
one cares about the logo.
Guy Ritchie directing Aladdin.
Okay, that's gonna be
Back to
interesting
Lush.
since Guy Ritchie's pretty hit and miss.
Yep.
Right? Like that's
Arthur.
I know.
Sherlock was good.
His old stuff was really good.
Arthur.
Mean
not-
Machine, I wasn't a big fan of, but that's also, I think, was his first like big movie. That wasn't that big still, but
cool.
Yeah. Who's next?
Who wants to go next? Go.
What have you been
Go.
doing?
Go.
For 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk about Spider-Man again,
We can briefly touch on
We
it.
can
if you
touch on
wanna
it.
touch
It's a good
Spider-Man.
movie.
I liked it.
Is it like yeah? Yes.
That's
Done.
also the consensus we came to.
Conversation over.
Yeah.
Four out
What's
of four
next?
individuals enjoyed the
No.
movie.
Well, me and Ross had this discussion. I can't remember how Sam Raimi handled it, but I really liked how Peter was put into difficult situations,
Mhm.
and he had to make that hard choice. And
It felt
they
like
did-
a really
they
real
really
movie.
did that well with this one.
Yeah, it felt like a really grounded, very real scenario movie.
Yeah.
In this bigger MCU like grandiose thing that they have.
Um,
And I'm curious as to, obviously because I read it beforehand, but who's going to be the villain for the second one, because it's someone who hasn't been in a movie previously.
I still think that Scorpion is a possibility because they haven't shown Scorpion in the movie. They've shown Matt Gargan. They haven't shown Scorpion.
Yep.
So I'm going to see it as they're not going to have any super-powered alter egos that have been in the movie, but I won't be surprised if it's someone we've seen in a smaller, non-superpowered role.
Well, we discussed it. I think either a Mysterio movie,
That'd be awesome.
That would be just
or
yes.
or because this would be set after Infinity War, have Kraven Hunter come in and he's watching all these newscasts about the Avengers fighting, and he sees this spider-like thing and feels it would be a great hunt to go get Spider-Man.
I think either one of those guys works best for your next flick.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think you have to start introducing the Osborns. Not as a big threat, not as a
No,
big thing.
just,
but start-
Something in the background.
yeah.
Yeah. As I you said it, with Osborn being a competition with
Tony
Stark.
The Stark Intrudes.
Yep.
Have the two companies are just butting heads.
We'll see have them buy the old tower.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, not even butting heads anymore, but just because Tony's out of the
Stark
weapons
Tower,
business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's where Osborn takes his rise, is yes.
And you can build that towards him starting up Hammer or whatever he does in the comics, where they don't actually know what Hammer stands for. They just wanted it to be cool.
Yeah. But, yeah. Well, there was something I was going to... There was a point I wanted to make about Spider-Man, and it's gone.
Uh-oh.
And I don't remember. Keep talking. It'll come back to me.
Well, that's all I have for Spider-Man.
Does
You
it
guys
have
kinda
anything to
covered
do
it.
with the hard decisions, or does it have anything to do with
No,
future
it was...
villains?
Was it the
No.
Venom movie?
Nope.
No.
It was something that people were talking about with Spider-Man, and... Again, people complaining, and I wanted to discuss it,
With-
but I forgot what it is.
MJ?
No.
I'm okay with that change.
I'm also okay with that change.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I don't care.
Because she's not actually married to him.
Yeah.
She's Michelle.
Yep.
Even if you call her MJ, she's still Michelle.
Cool.
Yeah. I also saw The Mummy.
Was that
How
any
does
good?
that? How do you feel?
It was okay.
Can you see more of those movies though?
I was going
I
to say,
don't know
that's
how
not
they
a good
did-
start to a whole dark universe.
I don't
It
see
was
how they're tying
alright.
into other movies.
Well, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are in it.
Okay, yeah.
Are they actually in this movie?
Spoilers.
Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll.
That was
I didn't
totally
know
in the
that.
trailer.
Oh,
It was totally in the trailer.
yeah.
Russell Crowe was in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't
And
remember.
he name drops himself as
Yeah.
Mr. Jekyll
I don't remember that.
Dr. Jekyll.
or Dr. Jekyll, whatever. Yeah. He name drops.
I don't know if Mr. Hyde's in the movie,
But if you say that, that's
It's-
clearly.
but I'm assuming he will show up at some point.
But it's hard to see where they're going with the way it ended. Hard to see how they're tying in every other monster into this universe.
Okay,
'Cause, I mean, there's a couple scenes where they're. they
Does it
show-
feel
there's-
deliberate?
There's a vampire head or a vampire skull in a jar.
Tied in, right there.
yep, vampires exist. Thus
Yeah,
Dracula
okay, but
must
they
be real.
don't.
Does it feel
There's no
forced
name
though?
dropping of anybody.
Yeah, but you
else
don't want to
is
go through
going
the whole
on.
movie with name drop, name drop, name drop.
I'll at least mention one.
I think all we can do is just like
Because
all we can really do is wait to see what the second movie
Yeah.
Which I think
in the
is
series
Bride of
is
Frankenstein.
and how they try to tie it into
I
the
thought they were
Mummy,
just-
and that'll answer the question. Like, we don't know how they're gonna do it, and even though it right now it
I don't even think
looks
they
like
know.
it won't work.
No, the way it.
We won't know for sure until we see how they try to do it.
Now, and is the thought process Tom Cruise is going to be the lead in all of these flicks?
I would have possibly. I could say why I think that, but I mean that would spoil the.
So
the end
that's
of the
kind
movie,
of the.
But I kind of.
But you
I could
believe so
see-
based on what you saw.
He could be.
Could be. All right.
He could start as another franchise.
They should bring in Hugh Jackman.
What
I hear he's
Van
going to fight
Helsing.
vampires.
What I hope they
There's a-
do is they build the entire thing towards a monster team up where all the monsters have to join together
And kill
to
Tom Cruise.
fight a van. Ooh, even better.
we can call it the Monster Mash.
Okay,
Get
new plan. We get M. Night Shyamalan to direct the essentially Avengers version of this. The twist is that Tom Cruise was the villain all along.
Is he not the villain already? In my book, he's always the villain.
Nah,
I just
I
don't,
don't
care.
want Tom Cruise.
I don't either.
I liked him
just-
in
I just find all of his
The
movies.
Edge of Tomorrow.
I just find all of his
I
movies
still have to
tend to
see that one.
He actually
Edge
had a
of Tomorrow was
sense of
different
he had
enough.
a sense of humor in that.
Yeah.
I found.
Even Tropic Thunder, he was different. Like when he does different roles, I like him. When he plays
He
the
was
Mission
so
Impossible,
good in Tropic
I know.
Thunder.
I'm trying to remember what he did in Tropic.
He was the bald
producer.
like,
agent.
producer guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember now.
But when he
Loved him
essentially
in the
just plays his
standard
Mission
him.
Impossible role.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Runs everywhere.
Running and an airplane stunt.
That's all I remember, really. Oh, and
Well,
he
he's-
got hotboxed.
like-
I remember that too.
Let's be honest. He's another actor like George Clooney, where they're good at playing themselves.
Yeah.
There are so many actors out
Oh,
there
for
like
sure.
that.
But the fact that like you've seen Tom Cruise do Tropic Thunder,
Yeah.
is like you can do more.
Yeah.
Don't become Richard Gere or George Clooney.
Yeah, so I mean, it was okay. I think, like I said, I think the next one is Bride of Frankenstein.
I don't
You
even
do
know
Bride
that.
of Frankenstein without doing Frankenstein.
I don't even know if they know what they're doing next.
Well, they had them lined up. It was Bride of Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Invisible Man,
Right.
and
Finished up with a vampire. Tom Cruise
no
is the
Swamp
vampire.
Thing.
Tom Cruise is
Tom Cruise has been
Dracula
Dracula this whole
Yeah.
time.
in the sun.
But we don't know.
No, he's
he's
alright.
Dracula.
He's got sunscreen.
All the monsters have to team up, fight Dracula. Dracula was Tom Cruise all along.
Yes,
I'm in.
sounds
I
better
would
already.
watch that movie.
Directed,
I'd
but
watch that
still
film.
directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you need the twist.
Yes.
If
What a
anybody's gonna do a
twist!
twist.
What a twist!
M.
He hasn't done any of those in a long time.
Oh, just you wait.
He's due for one.
I've heard that he did it with Split. I
Oh,
haven't
did he?
seen it yet.
I haven't
I heard
seen
Split
Split
was
either.
good.
I
heard-
know what the twist is.
Oh, I don't even-
ruined it for myself, so I'm not
Ooh.
gonna say it over here.
Yeah,
But finding out what the twist was
was it he,
actually made me want to see the movie more.
Well, and you kind of need that because his last few movies have been.
I heard it was good.
Okay. Well, I will seek Split out. I think that's.
The devil one in the elevator, that one wasn't bad.
Yeah,
But
that
there was no
I
like
liked that
twist
one.
in that
That was
though.
pretty good.
There was no huge
Well,
twist in that.
No.
But you don't. Okay, M. Night
He
Shyamalan has to
doesn't
get away
need-
from the twist.
He doesn't need huge twists.
No, that was. But you're right. Devil was amazing.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's
was
so
good.
good.
The last one I saw was what, After Earth
No.
with Will Smith or whatever.
Let's see that one.
Was that him?
Yep, and it's
Oh,
I thought he
God.
did something with Matt Damon.
No, that was.
What was that one he did with Matt Damon?
That was M. Night Shyamalan.
he didn't do one.
The twist was in the trailer.
What was the one with Matt Damon? Like the plant one, the trees.
That was not.
The
bad.
Happening, and that was terrible.
Yes.
That was Thomas Jane.
I thought that was
No, that was Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Sorry.
Yes.
Not.
Okay.
His name wasn't. I'm like.
Oh, The Mist is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, super different.
Yeah.
No, The Happening was terrible. The Happening was almost like, oh yeah, everyone's ragging on me for being Mr. Plot Twist. What if I tell you everything that's going to happen in the movie 20 minutes before it happens? That's the twist.
The twist about a
that
twist.
There is nothing fresh.
Oh, well, that's why After Earth was hilarious because the trailer was like, you know, we've been traveling to space and blah blah blah, and it's like this is the most dangerous planet ever, Earth, and that was the trailer, and you're like, that was the twist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. M. Night, you put it in the trailer this time. Kudos.
For me, the twist is that I don't even
Bold.
realize I'm watching an M. Night Shyamalan
Shyamalan
film
movie.
anymore because I've stopped recognizing his name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
That's up. Any games?
Tried watching Lego Batman.
You tried it.
I
You're
did most of it.
You're the third of us to try and watch that movie and try and
I
enjoy
did
it.
most of it. I got the story of it. I get it. I don't need to rewatch it.
Do you care for it?
This once again was okay.
Mm.
I like the Batman song at the start. That was
Yeah.
great.
Batman fighting all the villains at once.
And he's singing the song while doing it.
Because he writes his own music.
He writes his own music. He's a rock star.
I'm home. I'm home. I'm home.
That was it for movies.
Mhm.
I finished Watch Dogs. I really pushed hard on that before I went camping this week.
Did you burn out on it?
No,
Okay.
I
that's
came
good.
back to it. I had to finish up stuff.
Gotta get them sweet trophies.
They're really easy stuff to do.
That's.
I really
is what
like
it is.
those.
Did you get a chance to buy that game, that 5-star game or whatever that got pulled from the PlayStation
'cause
store?
they pulled it. You can't get it anymore.
No, but there was like a day or so that you could buy it.
Yeah, when it first got released.
It's a PlayStation 4 online game. It's a PSN game where literally one of the taglines for the game was you can get
Easiest platinum. ever.
easiest platinum. You can get it in like 20 minutes. And they pulled it from the
My
store.
homie platinum.
And they pulled it from the store like the next day.
Hmm.
And it was only like a $5 game too, or $5 or $10 game.
But no, Watch Dogs. I like those open world. Let me do whatever I want to do type stuff, because in that game, really, I would say there's 5 sections, 4 or 5 sections, and you can go to any one of them right off the bat. Like, it's not stopping you. But every story point kind of has its own. You're going around, which I like, and then I like all the side stuff that it made you do, or you can do, didn't make you. But
Do it.
Do all the side stuff for all the trophies.
I did most of the side stuff before I finished.
All the trophies.
I found the online very interesting and annoying at the same time.
Now, was that the one where you could play on like your iPhone and stuff like that?
I don't think.
Because there was one of the modes where you could play in the game, and then someone on the phone can control a helicopter and try to, hi,
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
hello.
I got my hair in my eye while I was waving at
That's
you.
beautiful, majestic.
No, it
No,
hurt.
the interesting part about it was you can jump into other people's games, and you can hack them or tail them, and just to get the data on their phones.
How clear? How evident is it that you're being hacked? Or
It's very, because it
It's-
tells
yeah.
you have to find them before they hack you. But it's just interesting how you jump into other person's game, where they are, you pack them, and if you succeed, it's like they were never there. You're back in your own world. Like I found it very interesting how they worked that. It was very annoying when you're trying to start a story mission, and all of a sudden there's someone trying to hack you. It's like, really, piss off. I'm trying to do stuff right now.
And so it doesn't lock you. It doesn't lock the players out if you're in a major story.
Well, no, if you're in the middle of a mission, you won't
don't,
let it
yeah.
happen.
Okay.
But if you're right at where you're ready to press the button to start the mission, and you press it, and you can't. Someone's hacking you.
Well, that's nice. That's
It's
nice
just-
of them.
But I mean, you can turn off online, obviously.
You can turn it off, but
It kind of takes part of the fun because it is.
it's
fun.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting the way they did that.
What does hacking someone else do?
It's just getting.
I was gonna say, I believe you get experience points.
Yeah, you get
Experience.
online experience points.
Yeah, it's nothing huge. It's just kind of a fun little like
Additional.
there's hackers around this world.
You're not the
doing
only
stuff.
hacker in the world. You're not the only one here.
And you appear as yourself, like the main character, but they appear as random people.
Yeah.
And then once you're done hacking them, they're gone from your game, and you're back. You're wherever you are. You're in that position in your game.
The best is you're actually supposed to be like stealthy about the whole endeavor.
I am.
Like hacking.
I
people.
figured that thing out.
Well, you're supposed to actually be like. Meanwhile, there's me like in a car chasing them, and you can clearly tell who's who because they're like weaving in and out, and you're like following them, so they clearly know who you are too, and you're just like.
The element of you have lost the element of surprise.
Don't need it. Just gotta stay close.
That's for the tailing. For the hacking, you gotta stay in a circle,
Yeah.
and you gotta hide somewhere because they're trying to profile you. As soon as they profile you, they can try to kill you.
Yeah.
But you gotta try and stay in the circle and hack them at the same time.
Essentially, you stay in an alley behind a dumpster.
I have had someone where they actually did a really good job hiding from me, and I figured out a trick to getting people is because the way the camera is, it's right behind you and back in third person, so you're running past something, you can't see the corner behind that you just passed. So that would be where someone would hide, right? So I found out if I just run kind of backwards, where I flip the camera around, I kind of know where I'm running anyways, but I'm keeping track of where the corner is, and then I caught one like that. But it's kind of just getting used to it.
Yep.
It's still annoying.
It was the game of hide and go seek before Friday the 13th came out.
Yeah, but I think Friday the 13th probably did it better though.
That's because it's based on hide and go seek.
It's
Yeah.
Stupid Jason.
Yeah, I mean, there's one trophy I don't think I can get because I need someone to tail me 5 times. But trying to consider how long this game has been out, and
I can probably
all
find
that.
from the library and tail you.
Well, you have it on your PlayStation, so you could.
I do.
Oh. I have like 6 people on my friends list that have this game.
So you've played it at one time.
Yes.
So you
I
could,
probably got it from the library, put it in and said, "Yep, that's a game."
Yep.
and
but
took
so
it out.
So there's that, and then there's just some more grinding stuff. But I mean, it's
You get into PC gaming,
I know, right?
yeah. I'm level 20 on my trophy hunting now, so
I don't know what that means. I think I'm like 13 or 12 or something.
yeah.
Super low.
And then the last thing I did is because starting my stupid medication that I have to do. I needed something to distract me, so I started playing the Necromancer in Diablo 3.
Nice. How's that going?
He is really overpowered right off the bat.
Do you have it yet? The
I have it.
Yeah.
I haven't
just
played
haven't, just haven't booted it.
I'm level 12 in my Steam account.
Like when you
Kill.
with the Necromancer,
I'm
the
less
first
than
power
you
you
then.
get, you send spikes up from the ground.
That sounds fun.
If you're not around any monsters, it just kind of pops up in a circle around in front of you. But if there's monsters around it, the circle actually goes to them. You just keep grinding it. Just sit there and
Spam your spike button.
pretty much. And I don't know how it did it. I don't know if I did it accidentally. I could stun them with my spikes, so I'm just sitting back and just doing that. And near the end of what I played yesterday, I actually got a skeleton army following me.
Nice.
On it, like the first, and you don't have
I
to...
expect no less with,
Yep.
with
Yeah,
the
it's
Necromancer.
supposed to happen.
Necromancer, but you don't have to actually, once you get that power, it's activated. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just the skeletons start popping up. And the button you press is just command him to go attack this monster. But yeah, I was fighting a boss, and all of a sudden I leveled, and the power popped up, and I started getting these little skeletons, and you get
Sweet.
9 right off the bat.
That's right
So
off the
it's just
bat.
funny, you're just
Get an
sitting-
army
You're
of
just sitting, you're sitting
skeletons.
back there, you're just doing your thing, and you got your skeletons just swarming.
This is just how
Everything.
yes, I expect.
It still blows my mind that they are updating Diablo 3.
That's an old game. Super old.
And I mean, the Necromancer patch was...
It's good.
But
I
it,
like
and it
so
cost
far.
money, obviously,
Yeah.
to get,
I think $20 somehow.
$14.99 US.
Maybe.
So yeah, but 20
$20?
$20 are real money.
I tried my hardcore character, who wasn't a necromancer, and I died again.
Gotta stop doing that.
Yeah, this one was kind of my fault. I wasn't paying attention.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hardcore characters die as soon as you...
Yep.
Yeah, and
That's
forever are dead.
pissed me off because it's the farthest I've gotten. I was playing the witch doctor. I had my little dogs. Finally got the gargantuan monster, and I died. Like,
And he's dead. Oh, hardcore.
That sucked.
yeah. And I was almost done Act 1. So close. Stupid arcane power monsters.
Those are
Because they send the balls,
Yep.
and that's what caught me. It's because there was like 4 of them, and usually I'm fine just sitting there, just kind of blasting, even though they're right at me. Yeah, apparently they put like 3 balls behind me, and they all started hitting me, and yeah,
The balls were hitting you.
In the face.
no, in my back.
Oh!
Yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Go ahead. You feel?
Did you have something to say?
No, not really.
Okay.
They had an Infinity War trailer. That's about it.
What?
We won't see
A
it.
teaser.
You won't find it for a long time.
Unless someone's sitting there like this.
People are
Even that.
clearly doing this already. They don't care.
Oh.
They don't care about that. What they
Okay,
care
you're gonna
about.
get a really shaky cam version, but...
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna wait until the actual trailer drops.
Yeah. You know it will.
I imagine it won't be too long.
Yeah, they.
Not if they're
maybe
showing.
It's a teaser.
maybe a week or something.
Well, give it till San Diego Comic-Con and they'll probably give us the... That's a week.
Okay.
We'll see if it's on their YouTube channel.
Anyhow,
That's about it.
I'll wait till the good quality one because I don't want to ruin the surprise with shaky cam.
Well, unless
Exactly.
it's sometimes the shaky cams are pretty good. Sometimes shaky cams can be.
the
pretty
problem is the audio quality is usually really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's usually
Yeah.
because you get the cheering in the background.
And no audio. It's just like, we must defeat and...
Yeah.
good. And then Thanos is trying to say something like meaningful and epic, and
Yep.
can't hear it.
I tried the shaky cam surprise trailers before. Nah, I'll wait. I want the surprise with the good quality.
They've confirmed that all Avengers are going to be in this one shot.
They're having like 64 super-powered characters in this movie. If they don't
Wrong.
have all
Hawkeye's not powered. Hawkeye's not powered.
That's why
Yes,
it's not
super
70.
accuracy.
That's why it's not 70 superpowered people.
Yes,
he
super
counts
accuracy.
as 6.
He's badass enough.
Anyhow,
So,
but what have I been doing?
Yes.
what have you been up to?
Not a lot. I have not been playing any video games this week.
We just talked about you getting all these games last week.
I know, and I still
he's still
haven't
staring
played
at
with any of them. However, what I did do this week, instead of play video games, was watch my kittens sit in a sink staring at an empty Guinness can. Because
Aw.
apparently that's what they wanted to do for like 20 minutes last night.
They just
I
really-
went I went and watched an episode of Deadwood, and they were just sitting in the sink at my bar staring at an empty Guinness can. And I was like, I don't know.
That's
I
super
don't know
cute.
why they're doing this. My kittens are weird.
I was gonna say, your cats are weird, man.
Yeah.
Cats, okay, in his defense, cats are weird in general.
I think
Yeah.
that Cinder moved the Guinness can.
Oh,
Oh, he's getting there.
got ballsy, did he?
Yeah, she.
She.
They're both she's.
See?
Well, there-
Anyway, but I've been watching Deadwood.
Yeah.
2 more episodes left to go in season 2. I know I'm behind the times by like 10 years.
Yeah, it's
I
an
didn't
old show.
I am behind. I am also behind by
That's a
10
spin-off
years.
of Doctor Who, isn't it?
No, Torchwood. is.
Torchwood. Oh.
Deadwood is cowboys and Ian McShane
Okay.
Yeah.
swearing a lot and calling everyone's
It's one of those
okay.
shows that's on my
people
list
heads
of like
and other things.
I do want to see it.
Yeah.
I think for me, Westworld is on that list of I need to see
That
this.
is also on
Westworld
my
should
list.
be the top of the list.
It is.
All
I
you
just-
need to do.
How many
watch-
episodes is it?
10.
10.
Okay, so that's
It's like
easy.
a Game of Thrones.
Watch the first episode. In my personal opinion, Westworld is the single best pilot episode I've ever seen, because that one episode gives you a good feel for the show, a good introduction to the vast majority of the main characters, and a good idea of the plot points and themes that they're going to touch on, but still a solid amount of mystery for you to sit back and go, but what's going on?
So is it like on the level of Firefly's pilot? Because that was really good too.
It's been a while.
I do. It's been a while since I've seen this, but I've never been as impressed with a pilot episode, specifically in the context of using it as a pilot episode to get your audience hooked,
Hooked, yeah.
as I have been with Westworld.
Okay. I know it's definitely on my I need to see this.
There are a lot of shows that I watch where I'll tell people, give it a couple episodes, give
Yeah.
it 3-4
Sure.
episodes.
I tell that with Black Mirror.
Supernatural.
I tell that with Black Mirror is one of those shows that I tell people watch the first one, get shocked by what they do, and then just watch the rest of the series because it's
And
so good.
A lot of shows are like that, where it takes a good few episodes to build far enough into the story for you to actually get hooked.
Yep.
In my opinion, Westworld does it with the first episode. And if you watch that first episode and you're like, I'm not really digging this, chances are you're not going to like the show.
Yeah.
So it does what it's intended to.
It does what it's intended to do. One episode, you'll either decide if you want to keep watching or don't care.
Nice.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think it was last summer,
when it came out.
yeah, that's when the name kept being dropped everywhere online.
Yeah.
It's I need to get on the show, and luckily enough, they're not really pushing for a second season at a fast rate. They're working on it. right?
No,
They're working on it, but
right off the bat, they were like, it's been greenlit for a second season that's coming out sometime in 2018, whenever they get it done.
yeah, they're taking their time. So it's like the Sherlock effect.
Exactly. So been watching Deadwood.
Deadwood.
It's good so far. It's good enough. I'm towards the end of the second of 3 seasons. Not as good as shows like Game of Thrones or Westworld, where there's a definite prominent story.
Yep.
But
This one's just cowboys, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got enough ongoing narrative to keep me watching, and probably the fact that Ian McShane does a fantastic job, because let's be honest, he's a great actor.
I was gonna say Ian McShane's just amazing. So.
I really love him in it. Timothy Olyphant, I don't like him as an actor. I don't think he's very good. He was also in Justified and some other things.
He's in the Santa Carla Diet or whatever.
And
He's
he
the husband.
Oh, okay.
and he's also in The Girl Next Door
Yeah.
as the antagonist.
Yeah, him. Yeah, no, I'm with
Yeah.
you.
He's not a great actor.
Nope.
Kind of bland.
Yep. I also didn't like that Santa Clara Diet show.
But yeah, good enough show.
Yeah.
Would I go out of my way to recommend it to people? Mostly for Ian McShane.
Yeah, and that's all. Yeah.
Been watching that. Rewatched the last 4 episodes of Season 6, The Clone Wars.
Nice.
And God, I love that show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Huge Star Wars fan. Never really got into the extended universe stuff because there's just so much. And for me, with something like Star Wars, the idea of the fact that the movies are canon and all of the EU stuff is more or less fan fiction, professional fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, it's
super awkward.
It never was canon. That always turned me off of it, but since Disney got control of Star Wars and actually drew a fine line between this stuff is canon and this stuff is not, all of a sudden that canon content has been compressed down to something that's actually accessible for someone who has not been following it since the very beginning. And it means for me all of these stories actually have some kind of an impact on the characters, and that really drew me to watching it in the first place.
Yeah.
But also, such a good show. The first season is a rocky start. You have to get.
I would say the first two is
Second season got good.
yeah.
God, good.
Third season is where it really hit its mark.
I think because they figured out they could actually do stories.
Yeah.
Like, I think first season it was just like, hey, we have to do Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And, all right.
There's a time gap that we can write stories for. Let's put random stories in. Oh, wait, there's more to this world. Let's get an overarching canon going on here.
Well, and for me, like, what I liked about it right from the get-go is that they told story arcs. It wasn't every episode was a standalone. Even from the very beginning of it, there were multi-episode story arcs, and I thought that was cool because you rarely see that in half-hour cartoons.
Yeah, and remember when this was made, too. Like, this was mid-2000s.
Yeah. Gargoyles used to do that, too.
They did. Gargoyles was great for that. So I really like that. It takes about the first 10 or 12 episodes before they start to really get the feel.
Yeah.
Like those first 10 or 12 episodes, and a big part of it's the music.
Yeah.
I noticed that they changed the background music partway through season 1, and it gave it a more Star Wars feel.
Look at you go.
And the music was really disjointed in the first few episodes.
But even like, everything was a little disjointed.
Yeah,
in this
everything
first few.
was.
Because I remember watching the first few, and I'm like, this is a thing that people actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was one of those things where it's just like, if I binge enough of them, like, Netflix is like, want to keep watching? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Sure.
why not? I'm here.
Yeah.
You keep going.
And then eventually you're like,
This is good. For me, that moment of holy crap, I need to watch more of this was actually the last episode of season 1 where they introduce Cad Bane as a character, and they've got an episode where Cad Bane's got a bounty hunter contract, and I'm like, holy crap, this character is so cool. What's gonna happen next? I want to see more of him, and that's what made me go, I'm starting season 2 now.
yeah.
Am I gonna get more of Cad Bane now? Yes, I am. But really, as of season 3, pretty much, is when they really hit their stride, I think, with the stories. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of the story content from the cartoons, from Clone Wars and the Rebels, I personally think are stronger stories than what you get in the movies. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything for people who haven't watched it yet, but the last story arc in season 5 is probably the most emotional Star Wars story I've ever witnessed. So good. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. If anyone's a Star Wars fan who has not been watching the Clone Wars and Rebels, highly suggest you do so. Very good.
I also like in Star Wars, Clone Wars. Just one episode. I think it's in season 4 or 5. They show Padawans getting lightsabers,
Yes.
and there's a Wookiee. In my heart of hearts, all I want to do is see that Wookiee grow up.
You know what happens to him. Don't lie. Don't,
I
don't
know,
kid,
like,
don't
that's
kid
the
yourself.
unfortunate part.
Except you don't necessarily
Yeah.
know, because we know that there are surviving Jedi.
There are.
Except like outside of just
The Order 66 thing that happens.
yeah.
But that episode, just because, like in canon, it's Jedi's build their own lightsabers. So
Yeah.
this was them building their lightsabers, and because he's a Wookiee, like his hilt is actually wood.
Yeah. From like a tree from Kashyyyk.
Yeah, and you're just like,
That makes
That's
sense.
and then just imagining a Wookiee who also has force powers is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like they can already rip arms off. Never mind like force pull to and.
They'll force pull you without pulling you forward.
Not only that, but like if they can use their lightsabers to adjust the length of the blade, like
Yep.
Wookiees are like 7 feet
I know.
tall. You can have just like this great sword.
A claymore saber.
I remember seeing that episode and I'm like, this is cool, getting to see like them build, like
Yeah.
building lightsabers, and then just the fact that there was a Padawan Wookiee Jedi, and I'm just like
I want an Ewok.
this episode was already wicked, but you have just amped it up to like
I want
turned
an
it past 11.
I want an Ewok Jedi.
The short little lights.
Yep. It's more like
a
short
dagger.
dagger. You got double daggers.
The Clone Wars also has a number of stories that feature Boba Fett as a
Yes,
as a young teen.
That's my understanding.
kind of getting himself put
and-
together as a.
All of a sudden, you take this character who has like 3 lines in the original trilogy and doesn't do a whole lot of anything, and
He
is
gets
one of the
eaten by a
most
Sarlacc?
popular characters in Star Wars.
Yep.
Like, he's cool looking, but let's be honest, he doesn't actually do much of
Well, it's because you
anything.
can imprint your own story on top of him,
know.
and that was the biggest piece. Everybody's like, "He's so badass," and it's like,
But
But he
really,
doesn't do anything. But then you get to see him as a kid, and he's actually doing super badass
and
stuff as a
those
kid.
writers knew that. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's make him actually a badass.
And then you're like, wow, I want to see more Boba Fett stories.
Yep.
What's he gonna do as an adult?
gets eaten.
Gets eaten by a Sarlacc.
But I remember the point I wanted to make about the Clone Wars. Something that I found very interesting. I was watching a bonus feature on the Season 6 DVD there. And apparently George Lucas came on board for Season 2.
Oh yeah.
So all of a sudden, when George Lucas comes on board with it, it starts to get good. And I think that what we need to take from this is that George Lucas has surprisingly great story ideas as long as he has a team of people to rein his insanity in.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. If you read anything on Star Wars and anything that he's done, like even his wife was one of the ones who edited Star Wars, the
Yeah.
first one. So he had this other movie entirely ready to go, and his wife was like, "No one's gonna watch that. I will make you a movie that people will watch." But that's exactly it. Story-wise, his ideas are amazing.
Yeah.
He just shouldn't tell them.
No.
Like he should not be the one responsible for telling these
No,
stories.
he needs to come. He needs to be a big part of the brainstorming
Yep.
process, and then have a bunch of other creative people say, "Okay, you can take your list and make this something watchable."
Well, because even like if you go back to
I see your
episodes-
Jar Jar Binks.
And I
even if
raise
you-
you no
Not-
Jar Jar Binks.
if you go back to episodes 1, 2, and 3, if you would have actually made like a political thriller out of Star Wars movies, because that's kind of what he wanted to do, but had someone who actually knew how to make a movie, they would have been way better.
Yeah,
than
Clone Wars.
yeah.
what we
Clone Wars
got.
is a
Also-
pretty good movie story wise.
Sure.
Also, if you had a completely different casting for Anakin, because that was just terrible. That was partially
Yeah.
casting and partially writing.
I was gonna say, and yeah, if you look, because I mean, Natalie Portman can act, and she was horrible in those films.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor, I think, just looked at it and went, "You want cheese? I'll give you cheese."
Mm-hmm.
Like he bent to it so hard that it's
Yeah.
just like, you went past that line and are amazing.
Yeah.
Because and even Liam Neeson, like I thought his
I liked
Qui-Gon.
him as Qui-Gon.
I liked him as Qui-Gon, but again, I think he just probably
agree.
read that script and went, "Okie
Okay.
dokie, like
This is what's happening.
let's push hard." Because everybody else, I think, like a lot of that was writing. Because again, Natalie Portman can act.
Yeah.
But we also know Hayden Christensen can't, and therefore
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in that
Yeah, he wasn't
yes,
that good.
writing was a problem.
Yes.
And everything that went into making him ridiculously creepy and stalkery was a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which they fixed a lot of in the Clone Wars and actually made him like a super.
That's what I mean. Anakin's actually a good character in the Clone Wars.
He's finally a good Anakin. This
Yep.
is an Anakin that you can actually be like, I can see.
Why? Where was this? Where was this
I
in
can
the
see
Sin
the
2?
youngest queen in Naboo history turned senator, falling for this character.
Yeah.
Wanting to jump on
He's
him?
confident, but brash.
Right.
Where was this character from the cartoons in the movie?
Yes.
Like,
And again, that's a big part to George Lucas being way too involved in
Yeah.
Star Wars.
He needs a
Sand
he needs a
everywhere.
team to rein him in.
Yep, he does.
or else he gets just sand everywhere.
It's coarse and rough.
Gets everywhere.
Although I do like at one of the Disney conventions or Star Wars conventions, they got Hayden Christensen there, and it's like, how did you even get him to show up? Like, he doesn't actually come for a lot of stuff, and they're like, we promised him there wouldn't be sand. And you're just like, oh god. That's where we've gotten to with those movies.
So wildly meta that's good to hear now.
Good
cool.
old Rogue One.
Also,
Cool.
I read the new trade paperback of The Wicked and the Divine. Great comic series. Read it.
There you go. Ross always has fun comic stuff because he gets off the mainstream junk.
I read almost exclusively stuff produced by Image now.
We're into Image.
And it's also mostly me following a very select number of titles, which are usually following a very select group of writers.
That's usually
Because I do not have enough money to read all the comics that I want to. I've been waiting about 4 years to get into Manifest Destiny. Still haven't gotten around to it.
Now, as a quick aside, if you could digitally subscribe for $15 a month to Image Comics, whatever, and maybe you're a couple months behind comics-wise, but you have to read them digitally, is that something that intrigues a person who's trying to catch a bunch of back catalog stuff?
Honestly, I think that...
Do they have a digital?
No, I'm just...
back-
I don't know if they do.
I honestly don't know. I've never looked into Image Comics as to if they do something like that. But
I don't know if they have a digital subscription service, and right now I personally don't have time for it because of the comics that I do buy. Like, I just
Yeah.
went and picked up 2 trades yesterday. But just in general with all media, it almost seems like... Let's take music for an example.
I was just thinking that actually yesterday.
You can spend like $12 to get a digital copy of something through the Apple Store, or $15 to buy the same thing at Sunrise Records.
Yep.
You know, like there's not the reason to pay the money for digital music is if you want to spend that money, you can do it, and it's convenient. It doesn't take up shelf space. You can do it from home.
and get it right away.
You get it right away. Pay a little bit more money, it takes up shelf space. You can go get a CD for those of us that like to collect. I think the problem arises in the fact that free content is so easy to get now, and there's so much out there that you can't get everything. You can't pay for everything you want to listen to. So you'll end up going and buying individual songs on iTunes that you hear on the radio and stuff. But for someone who's really into a particular genre of music, for example, like I can't go and just buy a bunch of music from all the new metal bands that are coming out.
Yeah, they don't make
I can't afford to.
They don't make collaboration discs anymore, or collection discs anymore like that.
Oh, they definitely don't.
No.
And I mean, and that's the big piece of, like, I have my Google Play subscription, my Google Play Music. So as long as it's on their service, I can listen to it.
Yeah, so like if you could pay like $10 a month or something like that for a music streaming service and listen to
Effectively everything.
everything that maybe Napalm Records is putting out,
Yep.
then that'd be something worth looking into, because now you're paying the price of one CD,
Yes.
and you get to maybe not download everything, but at least stream it all.
So for Google Play Music, I pay, because I have the family subscription, because my wife and I both use it. So I think it's $14 a month for both of us.
Okay.
And you can, as long as you have a subscription, you can download music.
You can play it for
whatever's on
offline.
there, so you can play it offline. So you're not streaming it constantly and using up your data. and pretty much most artists are on there. Again, I don't know about metal because I'm not a, so one would have to look into that. But you can upload your own music.
Okay.
So if you have the CDs already on your computer,
As long as you have a way to rip them off the disc,
Yep.
you can
get
you can
them
actually
onto
store up
your-
to 10,000 songs on Google Play for free.
yeah.
That's not bad.
So and then access them from wherever.
Right.
And that was pretty much the thought process when I got into it, was for the price of, you know, if both of us bought an album, even digitally, if we both bought an album, that's usually $9.99.
Yeah.
So for $20, you get 2 albums, or for $15 a month,
You get 2
we
albums
get
plus,
whatever albums we damn well want to get.
Yeah.
And
even if it's just come
if
up.
I get tired of a song, which, let's face it, I've
do.
listened to it enough, I'm like, it's off the playlist, and I can replace it with 5 new songs that I want to listen to. And the beautiful part about that is that it's Google, and they've bought enough companies that amalgamate your stuff, so they're like, oh, just press this button, it starts a radio based on this playlist, and you might get some new songs out of it.
That's cool.
And it's like,
And a lot of that actually is free too. You don't need
and a
to-
lot of that is free.
the radio
but,
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the radio stuff's free, but the downloading part you have to
Yeah.
pay for, and the uploading songs you have to pay for, and that kind of stuff. But
Uploading you
for
don't
sure,
have to uploading you don't have to pay.
First, you only get a certain amount when you're free.
10,000.
Is it 10,000? Because yeah, then you get more if you pay.
10,000 songs. I've only uploaded 2.
I've uploaded I uploaded my entire iTunes library because I'm like, I don't know what you
Yes.
got, so I'm just like, click.
Yeah, that's what I did too, and I think I hit 2, maybe 3,000 songs.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't.
But yeah, you get a surprising amount of free stuff via the Google Play and Spotify free
Yeah.
service.
But that's what I mean. Like, it is. It's getting to that point now where subscription services are slowly starting to take over, and
And I think the thing with the free
Win.
stuff is that there is ads in them. So if you can spare 30 seconds of an ad, you get 30
but
minutes
that's
free or
and
whatever.
again, that's where free content, where we're talking torrents and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Where it is available, if you can make it convenient for me to pay money and get content, I'm going to do that.
Or alternatively, instead of like having torrents make their money off of the advertising and stuff, if you can provide the content for free,
Yep.
but find a new platform to do it where you have advertisements, you have banners on the page, and you have to sit through a like 20-second ad to get to the next page or something like that. But you as the label or as the publisher are then just taking the concept of torrents and being like, everyone's doing it anyway. What if we just post our own, you're getting the better content, and then we make the money off of advertising? Like,
Yep.
just in general, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the way to go.
I know what happened with
But in entertainment media, there's got to be some kind of a shift towards trying to find new ways to make money on your content, because people are finding ways to get it for free.
and you see a lot of it with Humble Bundle stuff as well, where it's pay what you want. You'll get the content, but you can pay as much or as little as you want. You enjoy the stuff, pay it, give us a little bit more. If you only want to give us the bare minimum, sure. And at the end of the day, I think that does become a little bit profitable for whichever publisher that is. I remember one of the old Radiohead albums was like that too, where it was the entire album was free. You can download all of it, or you can give us $15 plus shipping. We'll send you the disc if you want.
Well, and I also like that kind of distribution model also works for people who obviously can't sign to a label, especially with music.
Yeah.
Or who don't want to, because like everything I've ever heard of labels is
They take so much
is
out.
evil.
Yeah.
Like they just hold on to you forever and never let you go. So like if you're
Either-
useless to them,
either
to hell
that
with you.
Yeah.
It's either that or like they just every time you make an album, they go, nope, we don't like you. We're gonna drop you.
Or they don't drop you. They just hold on to you, so you can't actually do anything. So if you
So
actually
you
watch,
do what they want them.
so if you watch, there was my wife and I ended up watching it the one day. There's a Katy Perry like documentary thing, and it shows how that's what they had her and Avril Lavigne in a room together trying to like get Katy Perry to be more Avril.
What?
That was
No.
her original record company. That's what they wanted out of her. Was like that's what was big at the time. They're like, do it. And she's like, but I've written my own music. Like I can, I Kissed a Girl is her song. She wrote it. Like she's like, I have this song. It's like I think it's good. Nope. She's like, then why did you sign me? And there was someone in the company who actually like, they were still obviously working mostly on paper records for contracts and stuff. Stole them all and made them all disappear so Katie could get out of that contract and sign with someone who actually like produced her stuff. And you're sitting there going, someone has to go to the lengths of essentially like that was super illegal.
Yeah.
to get out of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think distributing music the way, like, digitally, if you can find a way to do it cheap and easily enough for independent people, it's awesome. Because people get that spotlight too, especially with places like subreddit where you're like, hey guys, I just dropped an album.
Come check it.
Well, and especially since like there is so much content out there that if it's not played on the radio, you have to go hunting for it or you're never gonna find it. And really, like, why am I going to pay $15 for an album from some band that I've never heard of before? I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
And that's the beautiful part of, like I say, like Google Play Music. You're like, oh, what is this? A click, like, oh no, I don't like that. A pause, go to the next song.
And
you can go through top charts. You can go through.
And then you can even tailor it to say like, yeah, I don't like this kind of music anymore. Just put the thumb down. It won't recommend it anymore. For
well,
you.
but even non-recommended. But you can go through like top charts. Look, I have Ross on here too.
What are you having me on?
What?
I have the old music that you produced ages ago.
Oh, that. Don't play that.
I'm not. I have it though. I told you I uploaded my iTunes library.
Do it after.
Do it after.
Do it after.
It's on here. I'm just saying, like, that's Google Play Music's a pretty fun thing, but top charts.
It's a fun tool, yeah.
And I know there's a way to go through top charts based on new releases. That's what it is. New releases. So yeah, I think you'd be kind of hooped unless it's under rock.
Try metal?
Oh, what? I don't know.
Oh,
It's definitely not metal.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no metal on here. But
No.
Punk goes pop.
That sounds like a weird band name.
It's actually a compilation album of. It says punk, but really they're more either somewhere between pop punk and metalcore covers of pop music.
So yeah, like, but yeah, it's very interesting to think about. And yeah, companies do have to start thinking about distribution.
And I think it's kind of moving that way towards comics as well. Like, I don't know how many people buy single issues anymore, but
I don't.
Exactly.
Like
trade paperbacks and hardcovers are the way to go, because then you get a story arc in one book and it sits better on the shelf. You can see the spine. It's all collected together. You're not getting snippets of a story 1 month at a time.
Right.
And then if you want the collection, you have to pay more money for the trade paperback afterwards. Like, I'd have to see the numbers to know for sure, but I imagine that trade paperback sales and hardcover sales have got to be higher than single issues.
Oh, it depends on how many issues they put into one trade paperback too, right? So
Dragon Force is on here. That'll lead you down a rabbit hole of
I like Dragon Force.
other stuff.
Dragon Force is pretty good.
But that's new, yeah. So, and comics, like I say, I've done the Marvel Unlimited or whatever it is, just to kind of catch up. But those are 6 months back, so as long as you don't mind being
Behind the times a little bit.
behind the times, essentially, you know, I'll get comics from 6 months back, and then the next month I get more comics. So for $15 a month, you're actually getting a crap ton of comics. Now, whether you want to read Marvel or not, and whether the comics that come out are worth it, you kind of have to go, okay, if I read X amount of comics, it's then worth $15.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you have to look at those subscription services. Like Netflix, people who complain about paying $10 a month.
Yeah, something.
I have watched much more content
Than $10.
than $10 worth of content. Like,
I remember when it was like $8 a month, and then they.
I'm okay with them jacking the price up.
Yes.
I get BoJack Horseman because they jacked the price up. Like,
And honestly, for someone like me, that's my primary source of video content. I don't have cable like other people.
see, and I have cable.
I do. I have PVRs to watch too.
But yeah, like for me, it's like I pay for my internet, I pay for Netflix. YouTube is obviously already free for video content. So really, total, I'm spending less than $100
Yep.
per month for video content.
Yeah, worth it. So,
I mean, assuming we don't have to deal with any of the dumb net neutrality stuff that will happen eventually.
we're fine.
We should be for now.
We will create a free internet.
I have my own internet with hookers
we at Barrel
and
Roll-
booze.
We at Barrel Roll News will create our own internet.
The main reason I don't subscribe to Netflix is because I have like a very specific set of shows that I want to watch, and I cannot guarantee that I can see those on Netflix. And I also cannot guarantee that it won't go away from
I was just going to say,
I was
the,
gonna
the
say,
big
it's
piece is when it goes
Yeah.
least.
It's the going away where you're like halfway through a series and it's like, you have like 2 weeks left to watch this show.
It's like, but I was not done Scrubs yet.
Scrubs was good.
Cool. I was playing lots of Metal Gear this week.
Yes, you were.
On and off stream. So I tried streaming a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1 via the computer. And for the most part, I'd say it was a success, other than the internet crapping out and the computer crapping out. I think it just couldn't handle doing emulation and streaming at the same time. That's a pretty big task, especially with an old PlayStation emulator, because it ran it stunningly well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the emulator.
No, I was watching parts of it.
The emulator I found, after a bit of tweaking here and there with OBS, it worked out really, really well. But man, that game actually ages really good. As much as I, play it over and over again, it's really, really good. And I kind of prefer it over the GameCube version, even though I know it's sort of the GameCube one is obviously the better looking one.
Yeah, I was gonna say they improved the visuals.
Yeah,
but I know they changed some other stuff.
They changed a lot of stuff with the Twin Snakes version of Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
And Hideo Kojima, he made it, but he wasn't super proud of his work on it, from my understanding. Like, he still likes his original version on the PlayStation. For those of you who don't know, it is the 30th anniversary of Metal Gear Solid this week, or Metal Gear this week. So
not that it will ever matter ever again.
I was just gonna say, like, this is kind of bittersweet, thinking like there's never gonna be anything that good ever again.
Well, you'll get a Metal Gear game.
Okay, we don't count Survive, for starters.
Revengeance.
Revengeance was awesome. Revengeance was excellent.
Was that the one with the guy with the sword?
Yep.
Right.
Kojima did work on that, but he wasn't the main developer on it. He was sort of the liaison, sort of like the, oh yeah, consultant. Yeah, that'll happen in that universe. How crazy can you do that? More crazy. So, yeah, I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1, did some Metal Gear Solid 2 on the Vita, because I have it on the HD collection in there. But yeah, like that game will always hold a special place in my heart forever. Ever.
What's a Vita?
I know, and it's hard to explain what that. Stupid. The only reason why I have that Vita is because of Metal Gear Solid.
I still feel like, honestly, I feel bad for Sony. They had such a good console,
and they will never admit that console's failed. This is the crazy.
They don't talk about it.
They
just ignore it.
They said Vita once at E3.
It will go away.
It's the bastard stepchild. It'll eventually just like.
Eventually, people will stop making games for it, and then it'll disappear. And then Square Enix goes, "We got a Final Fantasy game coming out on the Vita," and Sony goes like, "Shit, we still have to help them publish this game."
I thought we stopped making those game cards.
God damn it. But yeah, if it wasn't for the HD collection as a portable,
yep,
I wouldn't have a Vita. Like, straight up, that I would have sold that thing months ago. Other old games I've been playing: Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD, whatever. It's the re-release of the Kingdom Hearts 1 on PS4. So I've been playing a lot of that lately, and I gotta say, they did a really good job with the HD sort of bump from the PS2 all the way to the PS4. You remember how good the HD collection was on the PS3 for Metal Gear Solid? Mm-hmm. I would put this Kingdom Hearts re-release, or HD, on that level. It aged very, very well. It looks like a Kingdom Hearts game. It looks very colorful. It's not blocky. It doesn't run bad.
I was going to say it doesn't look like,
Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill PlayStation graphics.
No,
1080p.
No,
that's what I want.
No, they did a good job with the HD port on this Kingdom Hearts game, and really getting ready for more Kingdom Hearts eventually, whenever that game
when 3 finally drops.
I think there's a trailer this weekend for Kingdom Hearts 3 at the D23.
Yep.
Because they have a video game panel for Disney games and Disney media. So I think that's when they said another trailer would drop for Kingdom Hearts.
So Battlefront 2 and Kingdom Hearts.
Battlefront 2 and Kingdom Hearts. Back to
Disney
back.
Infinity 4.0.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Not happening.
No. Not happening, bro. Not happening, bro.
There were.
So.
I know that when they re-released the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games for PS4,
they did.
There was some buzz around the internet as to whether or not this means that there might be a future in those games. So I'd say chances are in the 1% or less range, but
I think
Same
it's,
amount as those
maybe during
Fantastic Four
maybe
characters
we'll
being
see
revealed.
another of that style of game. Maybe
I
I
love
think
that.
I think that they might be, because looking at how Disney has been handling Kingdom Hearts, has been handling Star Wars, these properties that they have no need to worry about, having them work so closely with these game developers, I could totally see that coming out. I mean, look at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Like, how did that game come out?
Well, there's
How
still
is-
an Avengers game in the works somewhere.
And
like,
yeah,
in the
Square Enix
pipe.
is
Square Enix is
Square
working
Enix
on it.
on a sort of Untitled Avengers project. Maybe we'll see that this weekend. And so, yeah,
I
like,
forgot about that one.
but yeah,
I
like,
never
see,
knew about that one.
It literally the trailer is
It was-
just like
yeah, Iron Man's
America's shield, Captain America's or Captain
Iron Man's
America's-
helmet.
Iron Man's helmet, Thor's hammer. Like it
You
just
see
kinda shows off
Bruce
the pieces
Banner.
of everybody.
You see Bruce Banner's glasses, and
Yeah,
it's just like
and then it's like
Untitled.
they will assemble.
eventually
coming soon.
Eventually,
Okay.
And you're just
eventually.
like, and then Square Enix is at the bottom, and it's like Square Enix is making an Avengers game. Nick confused.
But yeah, and I think a lot of that has to be with their relationship with Kingdom Hearts,
Sure.
because that game series has gone so wildly out of control, grown so wildly out of
Yep.
control, that it is like, trying to explain the story in where it is now for those 3 games, let alone all the other spin-off games. It's hard to explain at this point, but I'm really excited to see what they do and what kind of Disney products or properties they put into the future of this game. They had Aladdin, they had Tron, they had everything, Pirates of the Caribbean, everything in these games, and they look great in this HD remaster. So look, I have high hopes for the future of Disney games.
Nick's holding out for Disney Infinity 4.0.
Disney Infinity Infinite.
Just keep holding on to that.
I will.
Dis-
I'll hang on to that hope forever.
Disney Infinite.
The worst part about Disney Infinity is that they were in development for 4.0.
Eh.
So there's enough stuff out on the internet of stuff they finished. Like there's Maui levels or Moana levels
Oh, okay.
with like you can actually run around in. Because Maui and Moana were supposed to be like characters.
Yeah.
Hell,
Doctor Strange was a figure.
I was
that
gonna say some of the
fully
figures.
realized.
They had Rogue One figures too that look real
Rogue
good.
One characters were done. Spider-Gwen was actually a character. As like a fun Spider-Man.
They had that. They had
something.
the Gravity Falls versus character Mabel versus
Yep.
Darkwing Duck poll going
Yeah,
on.
Darkwing Duck was supposed to be like he was in the running to be a character.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, in my opinion, they shouldn't have had a poll. They should have just done both of them.
Well, that poll was between I
Mabel.
think 10 people. But Mabel and Darkwing Duck were the top 2.
Right, and I think they should.
Darkwing Duck.
That's all the '90s kids were voting for Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
I would have voted for Mabel.
And then you get those people.
Terrible people.
Yeah, because Darkwing Duck is a figure. Like
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Peter Pan lost in that fight by like a huge margin.
What?
Darkwing
Darkwing
Duck.
Duck.
Gargoyles would have been.
We're not
great.
on it. I sent them a tweet the one time. I'm like, guys, like you want me to spend boatloads of money?
You got
Gargoyles.
gargoyles.
Gargoyles, and the figures could literally be them in their stone like forms, because that in my brain, like that's the image. Is like
Maybe-
them as stone, like in their poses.
Yeah.
And then when you put them into the
Lexington.
game, when they put them in the game, they.
They even had plans for like double figurine sets too, where it was a giant figure that
I was
fit
gonna say you got
both
12-inch figures.
that fit on both sides of the portal.
Yeah. And then, and they lit up. Like these
okay.
12-inch ones lit up. But the Gargoyles ones, I sent them that tweet, and they're like, "That's honestly something we're like toying with." Like in their brains, they're like, "How can we make it work? What can we do?" And it's like, so I just like
The thought process is there,
in my brain, I'm just like,
and so
so many
hopefully,
possibilities.
and you know what? Anything can happen, right? Now that Disney's reigned and everything, and they're trying to keep everything under control.
I don't think they'll re-release Disney Infinity though, which is it'll be something new
Right.
in the same aspect of Disney Infinity.
And then you'll have to get that
And
too.
I'll have to get into that too.
You have to get new figures because they won't be compatible.
That's okay. And the other part about 4.0 that kind of makes me sad is they were supposed to make a level where all like the Disney figures that don't actually have a level to play in, we're gonna have a level to play in.
Oh.
So you could have Mickey Mouse and Aladdin running through a level together.
And I think the biggest part of my phrase cock tease about this all was that they had a Keyblade
Yep.
in
The
Kingdom Hearts, or not in
Keyblade is-
Infinity or Disney Infinity 3.
Yeah.
They had a Keyblade, meaning we could have had Kingdom Hearts stuff for Disney Infinity 4.0.
Which is I think how they were gonna in 4.0 get it so Mickey Mouse could go into like the Marvel stuff.
And then Star Wars stuff, or
Was
vice
they were just
versa, or
different
whatever.
universes, and using the Keyblade, you could go to all these different places.
So that's one of the big pieces in Kingdom Hearts is
Yeah.
that you're traveling through the different universes, trying to basically solve their problems in
When's
Hygerbah
Phoenix Mickey
or 100 Acre Woods, or all these Disney movies. I think Tron was one of my favorite levels in Kingdom Hearts 2. So, but yeah, been playing a lot of that. Still playing, working through Chrono Trigger. I played a lot of old games instead of
I was gonna
new
say
games.
New stuff.
The Forest. I played that.
You did play the Forest.
I touched on it with you guys. I will touch on it again soon.
You built a thingy.
I built a thingy, and then I attacked monsters.
You did attack monsters.
So I don't know how effective I was against monsters, but it is what it is. Yeah, but that's been my week. Metal Gear, Kingdom Hearts.
Cool.
I couldn't finish Tekken. I had to return it because I just couldn't take it anymore. That story was so dumb. I couldn't even muscle through it. Fun fact though, funnily enough, when I got the game from the library, they still had the DLC code in there. So now I have a character that I never actually even played, but I redeemed it.
What character?
Elisa? I don't know. It was the pre-order, like day one edition. Here's the code in the box kind of character.
Yeah.
But I thought that they're supposed to take those codes out when they put them in the library circulation, but they
Maybe
didn't.
they add a new one each time someone rents it.
No, they only have like 5 copies,
So
5 or 10 copies.
They probably got a lot of those coupons or download codes. Sorry.
No, but it was an insert in the game box. Either way,
Oh. You have a character.
but that I never actually used.
One day it'll
And
go
I put the
on
code back in the box and I've returned it.
One day it'll go on super sale, and you'll just be like,
Maybe.
Tekken.
Yeah, it'll be like $10. I'll be like, it's a fighting game. It's a competent fighting game.
If you are interested for the computer right now, Humble Bundle does have a Capcom sale going on.
I did see that. None of the games interest me.
So if
Unfortunately.
you're an old school Resident Evil fan, they have Resident Evil 1 and 0 HD.
Yeah, which is actually
I'm not on that.
I know you're not.
Devil
Resident
May
Evil
Cry
6,
is on there.
DMC Devil May Cry.
The
so newer
good.
Devil May
That's a
Cry.
pretty good Devil May Cry.
It was
and
a
it's-
pretty good one.
Yeah,
As long as you don't look at it as Devil May Cry. Like
Yeah, it's-
The
Dante.
new
and-
one?
Yeah.
The new one, yeah.
Okay.
With the weird, like,
It's made by Ninja Theory.
emo kid
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Like, it was a
wild,
good game. You just can't look at it as
it's a
Devil
wildly
May
different
Cry.
take on it.
Resident Evil 6.
The that multiplayer Raccoon City is on there.
Yes.
We
Operation
should
Raccoon
we
City.
should get that just to.
I have it. I bought the bundle.
Wow, that's a bad game.
Well, it came in the bundle because I also got Dead Rising
You got 3.
2, 3, and
You can get-
50% off 4, which I'm toying with.
Woo!
Because Frank West comes back.
Yeah, but
And for 50% off, that's not too bad. But I've got till the end of August to use the coupon, so I'm like, I'll sit on this and think about it.
See what happens.
Yeah,
did you get this?
So-
Is it a Steam version or a Microsoft Store version?
it's all Steam. Because I put them all on Steam. I haven't installed them yet, but they're sitting.
Yeah, I have Resident Evil 6 already, so
I have 6 on my PlayStation 3.
I actually already have most of those games in that Humble Bundle, so I was like, I don't wanna.
Hello,
Hello,
Alicia.
Alicia. That wasn't it.
It's still not the character that Tony's
Maybe.
thinking.
I don't know. I don't know much about Tekken lore. I'm a Capcom guy, so. But yeah, that's what I've been up to this week.
Cool.
I want to play more Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon Go. Been really getting into those raids lately, so
That's good.
those are super fun to do.
At least someone's still going at it.
Those gyms are actually easy to play, like to take down now. So,
Not for me.
What's a gym?
come with me, guys. We'll take down a gym together.
guy?
We're on different
A
teams.
guy.
Oh.
No, we'll take it down.
guy.
We can still fight together and take a gym down. If it's a yellow gym,
Yeah, if it's a yellow.
yeah, we'll just
If it's a red, I'm helping defend that thing.
yeah. Good luck.
They honestly should let people switch teams
I'm
once.
If I could switch teams, I would switch to yellow.
Zapdos.
I would totally switch over to yellow.
Ultras.
Zapdos, man. Zapdos was the best of the legendary birds.
I don't know. Articuno was pretty good, but I like yellow.
Zapdos.
If I had to choose the 3, I'd choose Articuno.
No. Zapdos. Bastards made of lightning, man.
So,
His wings were just like pure energy.
Have you seen Articuno's tail?
Whatever.
Magnificent as fuck.
Don't care. Don't want magnificent. Want badass. And badass is the giant Pidgey in the sky that is electrified.
All we can say is that Moltres is the dumbest one of the three.
Yeah, I never liked Zapdos. I always had Zapdos.
I use Articuno.
See, and I never used Articuno because I had Blastoise. So I didn't need that.
Charizard.
I have like 2 Charizards.
Unless you're playing yellow, then you get all of them.
Yeah.
I'm holding out for the day that maybe they do a Pokemon game in the style of Final Fantasy. Where it's like a console game and you see your guy running around, like essentially just Final Fantasy graphics, but for the classic Pokemon game.
We'll see what the Switch is.
The Switch has a Pokemon game coming.
Yeah. We'll see what's going on.
I don't want to buy another console. I'm not going to do that.
Come into my house.
I want them to do it on the PS4.
Here's Nintendo, get on that. Nintendo, Sony, do it.
Yeah.
Just knock out Microsoft. Just do it.
One final Beltle or one final like knockout punch against Microsoft. Except Nintendo seems to be working more with Microsoft than PlayStation.
Yeah, the Rocket League stuff is awkward to hear.
And Minecraft.
I'd accept the game I just talked about on PC.
Again, Nintendo and Game Freaks are probably not going to make that happen.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to get Pokemon Go on the phone.
Yeah, the fact that they went to mobile is still like blowing my mind. Either who,
Yeah, that's it for us in this outdoor postcast.
Outcast.
which is good because I have to
Postcast.
go.
Post outcast.
We got stuff to do.
You got
really.
stuff to do.
We got possibly a new edition next week.
I don't know how if we actually get it today, but we have to go meet it to make
But
sure that
we'll see.
You know, we're not
Spoilers.
serial killers or something.
Doesn't
We're not
fit you.
serial or villains.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Evil or not, you have to do that.
I know.
You're gonna have to do that. Do it.
Either way, thanks
All
for
right.
watching. Check us out at barrelrollnews.com.
You can find all the links to our social sites.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Soon.
No, we don't have Instagram. yet.
Eventually. I think.
Fine.
No.
Vine's just our Twitter account.
Yeah, they merged. Speaking of YouTube, if you want to go check out all of our other videos, including some of the plays of the
Yeah, we're doing
forest,
a lot of Let's Plays.
the forest, failed / successful plays of Metal Gear Solid.
And as an FYI, tomorrow there will be some at some point going up. Last week's D&D session,
Yeah.
which is actually better than the last time I recorded it. I brought this microphone.
Oh, you brought the white ball, the white snowball.
Well, no, I brought this one.
Oh,
This is a Yeti.
yeah.
I brought the Yeti, not the snowball.
No, but last time.
The
you brought,
first time
yes.
I brought the snowball because I just had it. So I'm like, I'll bring this and record, and it does not have the audio quality of this sucker.
Mhm.
So this time Graham kept the music a little lower because I think he was like, okay,
Ooh, yeah.
we're gonna like knock this one out of the park, and this one actually caught everybody's voices. So
Good.
there's still
Cool.
no video because I don't want to record people playing
That's awkward.
D&D because
It's not that
much to it,
interesting,
yeah,
to be
not
quite
much to
honest.
watch it.
if we had boards and stuff was going on, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's all like everything you need is in us
Or-
talking,
And arguing, and
we bicker a lot because it's just like
it's D&D. It happens
yeah.
that way.
And then Graham finally is just like, roll for initiative, and you're like, oh man,
God damn
you
it.
bickered too long.
The
people
3
got
words
wind
you'd
of it.
never want to hear DM say.
Roll for initiative. Either way,
Thanks for joining in today.
Thanks for joining. Join us next week. We'll do it all over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe not with Tony because he might be out Pokemon.
No, we'll figure something out.
Every once in a while, he'll just call and check in. How's it going?
Oh my God, there's people!
Oh no! Either who. Thanks for watching.
We'll talk to you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Bye.
Bye.